Hello, 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 guys. I believe we're on. Good morning, Buddy Luis.
Somewhere, brother.
We're all
Hi, Sam. Hi, brother. Hi. We're all brothers together.
absolutely, and I'd like to emphasize the sort of the premise of all of our business talks and meetings is spirituality first, and then business and money. How are we all in agreement?
Amen. Amen. Absolutely.
Exactly. Only this way.
Only this one.
And how is the quality of audio, video? Everything's okay?
Yes, Salvation, everything is great. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Yep. Everything is okay here. Can you see and hear me correctly?
Yes, perfect. Brother Hike, you are occasionally, we're getting a fuzzy picture. I don't know, Brother Mitch, if you're seeing the same or not.
Yes. I don't know why my camera these days is not working well.
Okay. Well, thank God we're online, and you know, I'm just recording for our posterity, for our private archive. So when everything will be working and functioning, we could watch a couple of the Zoom meetings that we'll have, as not as imperfect as they might be, so we can have a laugh and sort of remember how we first started, how we started talking, about our projects and everything. Guys, how much time do we have as far as on your ends? Are you limited? Are you pressed for time, or do you have all the time in the world, so to speak? I'm exaggerating here, but more or less.
Okay. You go, Hike, because I'm flexible.
For my brothers, I have all the time. So
Perfect. I feel the same way. It's literally, to me, we live in such exciting times that it doesn't. Time is immaterial, so to speak. For our purposes, for what we're trying to accomplish here. Whether we stay on this call for extra 30 minutes, but we accomplish so much, it really is immaterial. And Brother Mitch, I wanted to comment on your latest video that you sent me, that special video that you filmed of Yerevan, the area of Cheromoushki, that's where I grew up. I want to thank you again. I said it in my email, but it doesn't really bring up the level of intimacy of what I felt by just walking with you, so to speak, on those steps by Tumo Gardens Park and the Buenos Aires Park. It's just amazing. Mostly where I played was around the Tumo Gardens Park. It was more elongated at that time. It was longer. It's just beautiful experience. And then, most important, I liked how you've inserted there the Second Chronicles 7:14, I believe.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
If my people.
If my people will humble themselves, I will hear them and bless them. It's just.
Yeah. It's a very, very important verse. It has been in my life. And I really and truly believe that that's definitely the way forward for Armenia. We have to turn back to God. It's the only way, and confess to Him our faults, our sins, and He's given us an amazing promise. He will hear from heaven. He will forgive our sins and heal our land. It just sends a shiver through me when I know that we have such a awesome God. And I use that term awesome because that's the only, when we're speaking of the Lord, that's the only time we should really use that word awesome. And I myself am guilty of using awesome in other contexts. But Brother Hayek, you'll hear a lot of people, you do hear a lot of people use the term awesome, but really, when we're speaking, it's such an important word to do with God's infinite majesty. He is truly awesome. His works are awesome, and I think we should try to use it just in that context. By the way, before I have one comment to make about your comment, Brother Sam. I made such a mess of that of that video because I was filming that multi-story building, and that wasn't where you lived. Anyway, it seems that we know the Lord works in mysterious ways. So I at least showed the neighborhood.
Absolutely. I lived actually, Brother Mitch, I lived actually literally 150 meters up the street from that building. So that used to be the Institute of Physics. And I lived literally just behind it. So I would play on that parking lot where it was so busy because of new construction there today, but it was there was nothing there. It was just a huge round parking lot. This is where I would play with my friends, Alex and other friends that I mentioned. And so my essentially that I think it's called Khrushchevka or Stalinka, that old building, third one, and so it was literally just a stone's throw away from that 14-story high-rise building. So it was very, very close, very, very close. So, I felt like I was there with you walking. It was just amazing. And then when you added at the end, Brother Mitch, you didn't skimp on the scriptures. You've added what was it? Matthew 17:12, 17:20. If you have mustard seed. Was it 17:20?
Have the faith of a grain of mustard seed. You should have this mountain go from here and go over there. And nothing shall be impossible with God.
Exactly. Yeah.
Actually, you know an interesting fact. This may be rather astounding to you to hear, but this actually happened in Egyptian Christian history. There were, I won't go into the details, but there was a
Mary of Egypt.
Mary
of Egypt.
No, if you Google Mokitan Mountain,
okay.
Mokitan, I can't remember how that's spelled, but there was this must have been at the beginning of the Muslim reign. And there was a wicked kind of caliph. I think it's called caliph. Is that right, Brother High? Caliph.
Yes, caliph.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
He was persecuting the Christians very badly. And this one saint, I can call him a saint. I can't remember his name now. His name escapes me. But he basically was called before this caliph and said, you tell me that God is a God of miracles, and I don't believe any of this. If you can show me, then maybe I believe. And he basically dared this saint to move this mountain. And so this saint got together with his flock, and he said, we're going to pray and fast and pray. Fasting is actually a very important aspect to do with prayer, so as you would know. But I won't go into the long story, but a period of time, I don't know whether it was hours or days they were doing this, and the Lord heard their prayer. And there was just a humble prayer before God. God, you can do the impossible. We know you can. And if it's according to your will, let it be so. The mountain raised so that they were, I don't know how many meters or whatever, but literally raised. And they could see through to the other side. And this caliph was just awestruck. Well, there again, I'm using a kind of similar term, but awestruck is okay. And he was so affected that he converted to Christianity. It's one of those stories which just is rather amazing, because nothing is impossible with God, and He can do the impossible here in Armenia. Brother Sam, we believe it's the Lord's will that you come and launch your project, but more importantly, your presence here is so, so important for the Armenian people. It's going to really encourage them because a lot of them are discouraged, a lot. And if we can show them in a humble way, you know, that there's a power, there's behind this name Christianity. And if we think like this, if we turn to God, if we pray together, even our enemies are going to fall down before us. We know we talk about all of this, you know, problems on the border, but if we just humbled ourselves and prayed and seek God's face, He's going to hear our prayer. I truly believe that. So your presence, and you know what? I'm sorry if I'm going on a little bit too long here, but I really important to say.
Sure.
The number of people that have contacted me, and Brother Hayek, will be able to tell you in a minute of the Christians he knows connected with us. They're inquiring about coming to Armenia to work, to live. But why? Because they can see what's happening in the West. Many of them aren't even Armenian, but they hear of this Christian land, and they hear of families, the family unit still being together. Okay, we have problems, we know that, but we have a freedom to talk about God with other people. This is not an issue, and they are very much attracted to this. So there's an assembly of Christians inquiring about coming to live in Armenia. So 3/4 of the people, or maybe even more, who've contacted me are Christians wanting to come to Armenia. It's amazing. God is doing something. I truly believe it. I truly believe it.
Brother Mitch, amazing story you shared about the Caliph and just in general. I mean, the stories like that, they give us the power to, or they increase our faith to be even more sort of determined and be on the path to do what we should be doing. So I will kind of share with Brother Hike my story real quickly and let him sort of respond back so we can get to know each other. Brother Hike, Brother Mitch and I already got to know each other, so we're going to I'll do a quick introduction. So I was born and raised in Yerevan, and when I was 5 years old, my family decided to move. And we lived in Latvia and the Ukraine. So I have a privilege to speak fluently Russian, because if I stayed in Yerevan, I would have a much bigger problems being fluent in Russian. So I speak Russian, Armenian, and English, and a little bit of French there, and Spanish, because in the U.S. there's a pretty large Spanish population, Spanish-speaking population, and some French, depending on different pockets. But anyway, so at the age of 5, well, the supernatural part, Brother Hike, is when I was born in that hospital in Yerevan, there was an epidemic, some kind of bacteria or something, infectious disease got out, and it killed all the infants in that hospital. I was saved by my aunt because she was a nurse in a different hospital. So she kidnapped me from the hospital because they wouldn't release the mothers or the children. So she came and she forcefully, she snuck in. She was wearing her uniform as a nurse, and nobody asked. So her name was Ashhen. So my aunt Ashhen came in. She took me from the hospital. She saved my life. If she didn't do that daring feat of ingenuity, I would not be talking to you right now, because all of those infants, it's very tragic. They all died. They all died at that hospital, and they try to hide it. It wasn't even in the news. It wasn't in the Soviet times. They try to suppress that kind of information. But my mother was there, and everybody who was in that profession, they knew there was due to incompetence possibly. Long story short, I was saved Then another thing happened a few years down the road. I was struck by a car on Fuchik Street, on right at that incline that we were filming, and I was taken to the Республиканская больница, Republic Hospital, where they put me together, stitched me up. So I was sort of, I remember the Buenos Aires Park from those days when they put me together. I was walking there. So then we moved, and then I came to New York City at the age of 17 and a half, almost 18. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, my story. But to wrap around it, the spiritual aspect, I strongly believe, just by knowing myself and just analyzing the entire situation, there was a hand of God in that whole, me being born in Armenia, and then me being taken out of Armenia temporarily. You know, sort of like Jesus was taken to Egypt for a time being. I'm not even comparing myself to Jesus, I'm simply saying I was taken to outside of Armenia until today. And I believe today, when I watched Brother Mitch's video, as soon as he uploaded it, I never knew about Brother Mitch before. I never followed him. I simply typed in Armenia, just on YouTube, just wanted to reconnect, so to speak. And his video, though, he freshly uploaded. It just went up. I watched it and it spoke to my heart. He has a gift of speaking very authentically, and so that message spoke to my heart, and now I believe everything is pointing to my return with the new technology and everything else, the resources, intellectual and otherwise, that I could bring back to Armenia to make it a great country again that it used to be many centuries ago. And so, you know, that's kind of my story in a nutshell, Brother Hike. So if you would like to share with me a little bit about your background, that would be great.
Brother Sam, it's again really inspiring, you know, as we were chatting through the email. First of all, my English is not as good as both of yours, brothers, but still I trying my best, and I have noticed when you said Khrushchevka that your Russian is quite good.
Thank you.
It's a quite difficult word, but you pronounce very well.
Thank you.
I also, my first language is Russian.
Oh.
Yeah, I lived in Russia for 3 years, and then I moved to Canada for 3 years when I was 25.
Okay.
Now I was just invited to return to Armenia. But first of all, you know, what you said, again, that's really great that you see God's guidance in all this story and great life story. Because as a Christian, I think that God guides each of us, and He loves everyone equally, but unfortunately not everyone sees these let me remember the word.
You can say in Russian, Brother Hayek,
Sure.
just these important things. Let Brother Sam understand.
Я все пойму, без проблем, конечно, не вопрос.
Да? Ага, да. И получается, ну, к сожалению, не все мы видим эти знаки, да, которые Господь нам показывает, я уверен, что каждому из нас Он показывает, и у меня, как помнишь, мы переписывались с тобой, ничего на «ты».
Да, конечно, да.
Как мы переписывались с тобой, что я тоже, особенно сейчас, когда вернулся в Армению, отчетливо вижу, буквально каждый день, знаешь, как что-то происходит, и я понимаю, что это не случайно. Такие вещи случайно не могут произойти. И то, что ты сказал про свою жизнь, про роддом, как тебя Господь забрал, почему нет? Я считаю, что христиане — это не просто сыновья Бога, не просто дети Бога, а в результате это, ну, как богословский, может быть, это и какое-то подобие, истинное подобие самого Бога. И как Христос сказал, будьте совершенны, как я есть совершен, также и Он каждого из нас, я считаю, что пытается приравнять к себе. И вот твоя жизненная вот эта история очень показывает это. И на самом деле очень много параллелей. И у нашего брата, я называю Петрос, и он нас всех просит.
Я его начал называть, I started calling brother Mitch, and that kind of stuck. It's
Brother Petros.
Brother Petros, yeah. But he knows, he said it's okay, Brother Sam, you could call me Brother Mitch, he doesn't mind it, so... No, but, amen to that, Brother Hike. What you said, I will summarize it in one phrase. Everything that you said in Russian for Brother Mitch to sort of join our conversation is, be perfect, for your Heavenly Father is perfect. That's the words of Jesus, and that's what essentially Brother Hike was saying in summary, that we walk, and He leads us, and our job is to recognize the visitation, the heavenly visitation, the signs, the premonitions, everything that's hidden from the physical eyes. We should be able to develop our spiritual sight, spiritual vision, so we can discern, or using the spirit of discernment to be able to recognize the signs. And that's what Brother Haik was kind of alluding to. But guys, it's just an amazing call today, because we have a lot of spiritual, powerful information to share with each other, to encourage, just like the Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another, and we're here to help each other, support each other. And the technology is really, I've only shared with you maybe perhaps 1% of what that technology does, because anything beyond that would be, if anybody sees that somewhere, intercepted information, they'll probably come and get me just to get hold of that information, to extract that technology. It's so cutting edge that it's beyond. And we have two prototypes. I'll bring one with me to Yerevan to demonstrate, because it's only 27 inches in diameter. It's not very big. And it weighs 54 pounds.
Sorry, 27 inches. Do you know what that is, Brother Hike?
68 centimeters. 68 centimeters. So it's not very big.
I have to try. I can't convert it back into because I was brought up with the imperial.
Yes.
And I can never. When you talk about millimeters and centimeters, I can't work it out.
Yeah. Well.
How big did you say it was again, Brother Sam?
The size. It's 27 inches, 68 centimeters, and it's 54 pounds or 24 kilograms. That's the weight of it, empty, without any cargo attached to it. So, but I can easily put it inside a suitcase, bring it with me in September when I come to demonstrate the functionality.
Will they let you bring it to Armenia, Brother Sam?
That's what I'm checking, because as soon as anybody at the border, even at the American side, when they look at it with their X-ray machines, they'll say, "What the hell is this?" Because it's round. It's round. It's not square.
Yeah.
And it would look to them very suspicious. That's why I'm thinking I might have to ship it. I haven't decided yet, but I'll either bring it with me or I'll ship it to where it arrives in a very safe container. But it's round, and that would give anybody at the border questions to, what the hell is inside? Let's take it apart. But the more they'll take it apart, they'll say, "What the hell is this?" Because it's packed with circuit boards. It's packed with all kinds of coils inside, and they'll say, "It looks." I don't want to use this word here, but you understand what I'm getting at. They'll say, "What the hell are you bringing to our country?" So we might have to think about how to bring it to Armenia to safely, to where nobody will confiscate it, because once they confiscate it, say goodbye to it. Once they figure out how to start it, they'll have the drone. We won't have the drone. They'll have the drone. So the technology will be lost because of the simple technicality that.
Brother Sam.
Yeah.
Brother Hike. Maybe there's a way we can help in this process.
From the Armenian side, I think it's not going to be a problem if we do it in advance. I can talk with certain people about this, and with your permission.
Sure, sure.
But from the United States side, I'm not sure if it's, you would know better.
Well, in the United States, they actually, once I check in the luggage, they usually, yeah, they never check it. It goes into the airplane, the cargo bay of the airplane. It's only, yeah, they never check it. Well, I mean, it goes, no, actually, I take that back. They actually, everything goes through an X-ray machine. Everything goes through an X-ray machine.
Yeah.
Because if anything that looks suspicious, they will actually cut the locks if the suitcase has the locks, and they will go through your
Yes.
stuff. And if they, yeah, we'll have to do something special because they will guarantee you they will confiscate that. They'll want to know what this is. Once they figure out what this is, we'll never see it back. It will be just somebody's laboratory, and somebody else will be flying it in their backyard, basically. Yeah, for sure. We can't let them have it. Yeah.
Maybe we would ask for some documentation or something, possibly.
I think the safest way would be perhaps just a possibility for me to ship it to Yerevan. So I will ship it in advance, and while it's being transported, I would fly to get there first, and then it will. I think it takes 3 weeks or so probably to ship it.
Even if you ship it, they could probably confiscate
They
it
could
as well, no?
still confiscate it. You're right. You're absolutely right. We'll have to.
My feeling, this is just my feeling, is
Sure.
that you should be, that the drone and you should be together on the same plane.
I agree, Brother Mitch.
If possible.
I agree with you. In fact, I would rather not even let go of it. I would almost want to keep it just by my side, almost like without even letting go of it, even when I go to the bathroom, type of thing. Just I'll probably try not to go to the bathroom. I need to be by the drone because everything is in it. Guys, let me just share with you now that we have this sort of a talk. And before I even get into all the capabilities of the drone, it was actually designed by physicists. That entire technology 40 years ago, they would been perfecting. They're from America. They're of Chinese descent. One of them was born in Hawaii, so he doesn't have an accent. The rest of the team has a kind of a thick Chinese accent. So we've been working, and I was brought on board about 10 years ago to perfect the system, package it, and they were missing. I have a very pragmatic side to me. I'm not my training is finance, and so I was brought in as this sort of a business mind to help it see the light of the day because they couldn't figure out how to put the finishing touches on the project, and so the drone can do a lot more than what I shared with you in that short little paragraph that I said. A lot more, including the speed that I shared with you. It's capped at 160 kilometers per hour or 100 miles an hour. But it's actually capped only for the production line. The non-production line that we have has no cap. If we let it go, it could go Mach 40 times the speed of sound. So it can fly to the moon and back in a matter of 2 hours, if we wanted to. We never let it go because, it would be crazy to lose it. But if we wanted to, that technology is absolutely limitless. And I can only imagine what kind of good it could do for Armenia, even though it's a little bit too late for the events of last year. Just imagine if we had several hundred of them patrolling the area.
Absolutely.
They could not be shot down by regular bullets. So it's bulletproof. The material that it's made out of, it's a special alloy, which I can't pronounce. This is a classified material that we got from one of the American universities that's making that type of alloy for NASA. So all of their classified stuff is made from this particular alloy. And we simply borrowed it. It's super light. It's paperweight, but it's stronger than titanium. It's literally, there is no weight to the chassis of the actual drone. So it's round because of aerodynamics, and because of we also thought, besides that, if somebody decides to bring it down, which in America, everybody's heavily armed, they will try to bring it down. And being that shape that it is, somebody at Zoom wants to give me a gift here. I see this marketing stuff. They even try to market doing a phone conversation. Zoom is trying to make.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it here also.
You also got a gift from Zoom. Okay, so anyway, so it's spherical. It's round, 27-inch, 68 centimeters in diameter, and that way, if anybody tries to bring it down with a pistol or a machine gun, it will ricochet off of the chassis. It's impenetrable. You cannot bring it down. If they try to bring it down with a missile, like an RPG grenade launcher, our drone has an onboard radar system that will detect the launch and will make a predetermined sudden maneuver to outpace the missile. So the missile will go somewhere else, and it will keep track of it. So, and we're uploading even the flocks of birds. So we're uploading geese and other birds, like storks and eagles. So it's in its classification, because it's AI, it has virtually unlimited kind of a database. So we're uploading all of the aircraft, all the cars, anything that's moving, so we'll recognize, okay, this is geese, this is Boeing 747, this is a military jet, and we'll know what's approaching, so we'll know how to maneuver around it. So it's extremely sophisticated to the point where if it loses contact with us, with the base, if we lose contact for whatever reason, it will survive indefinitely, complete the mission on its own, and then come back safely and land. And what we're working right now, guys, this is even more, we're just adding this piece right now. As I'm talking to you, our guys are doing that in San Diego. As you know, 54 pounds or 24 kilograms, it's quite heavy. If it falls on somebody's head, it will be fatal. Or if it falls on somebody's property, we can't allow that to happen. And so, God forbid, if anything happens to the drone while it's airborne, we decided to attach 2 separate modules. Those modules will deploy individually. They're individually powered. They're not connected to the circuitry. If anything fails on the drone, the first parachute deploys, it will slow it down. And then the second parachute deploys, it will completely bring it down to a hovering speed of about 3 miles per hour, which is about 1 kilometer per hour. So it will safely land with sirens blaring to let the people on the ground know there's some kind of device is descending and it's about to land, to warn them with lights, strobe lights, everything. So, but we've even this may not be necessary. We just decided to perfect it to the degree where we'll always send them out in pairs. Always, all of our drones. The reason for that is because it's circular. At the bottom of every drone will have a hook. So what will happen if one drone goes down, the parachutes will deploy. It will start descending, and then the working drone will catch it by the parachute with a hook and bring it safely to base. So no need to alert the people to go pick it up. It will all happen in fully automated mode. The drone is safe. The second drone will rescue it, bring it back to the maintenance department, to the closest base, and they'll have internal communication signal. If one of the drones is out of order, the nearby drone will know of the emergency, and the drone will essentially go to the rescue immediately, whichever drone is closest to that area. So the drone is safe, the cargo is safe, it will never hit the ground, it will be rescued by the nearby drone and taken for repairs to the nearby repair center. That's what we're putting it, and it is so smart, guys. It can actually talk to you in the dialect of where you are. So it will pick up, Brother Mitch, forgive me for saying it, but it will pick up that you're Australian. It will talk to you in the Australian dialect. And Brother Heike will pick up that you have something Slavic. So it will try to further analyze, and will switch to Russian with you. It understands the speech patterns. It's beyond, it doesn't have any robotic sound to it. So when it will talk to you, it will almost talk to you like me. You're like a normal human being. And it will. We decided to add that capability for when the drone is used for border patrol, for let's say for the law enforcement purposes. So if it needs to disperse the crowd, it can announce to them, and then if the crowd talks back to it, it will detect what language they speak and switch automatically. If it's not Armenian, Russian. If it's not Russian, it will speak Kurdish. If it's not Kurdish, it will speak Arabic, and even down to the dialect of where they are. Down to, let's say in America would be Texas versus East Coast, New York accent versus California where they don't have any accent. That's considered the purest form of North American English. And so our primary kind of objective was to help the handicapped people. This is why it's 27 inches in diameter, because the U.S. construction code, I believe in 1978, the older construction has the doorways are kind of a little bit more narrow than the standard doorway. So they're 28 inches. So our drone, we decided to make 27, so it will be able to fly in and access even the oldest housing in America. That's why you might be wondering, why is it 27 inches? So you could fly in, and at the bottom of those kinds of drones for healthcare reasons, it will be a robotic arm, which I'll send you a picture of. It's really incredibly. We didn't do the arm; it was somebody else did it. But the point is, we're going to attach the arm, connect it to our circuitry, and our drone could bring them water. It could bring them a phone. It could bring them, basic things that the patient might need, 24/7, without any noise. It doesn't make any sound, so it will be quietly. It makes a humming sound, like electric humming, but it's not noticeable. You can't hear it at all. You have to put your ear, on the drone to hear the humming, but it's on the inside. So it's quiet. It will, and we decided to even maybe for the healthcare, we haven't attached to it yet, but we'll probably have a special screen with a human face or something so people could interact with it. So if they say, "What do you need?" "Well, I need some water." "Sure, on its way." We'll bring them a glass of water, maybe some medication, whatever the patient needs, and that way they'll have 24/7 care. And that came from before I lost my mother. She was bedridden, and so that kind of experience, when you have somebody in the family, you know how tough it is for people who are bedridden to get that 24/7 care, and especially if nobody's home and the nurse is not there, and so on and so forth. So that's our healthcare part. So it can do healthcare, it can do law enforcement, it can do border patrol. Imagine that drone that doesn't have any need to be recharged could be floating or hovering in the air along the Armenian border, across, just around the Armenian border, all the way protecting it. At first, we might have a couple hundred of them, then a few thousand of them, and they don't need to come down. They'll be monitoring the situation. I don't even need if that's needed. I was thinking more like for the Mexican-American border, right? Where the people cross all the time by the millions every single day. So that's where we got the idea of the border patrol, Mexican-American border. Imagine day and night, it will be patrolling and monitoring the situation. If they sees the violators crossing the border illegally, it will come down, turn on the lights, and we have. I have it here. I forgot to bring it here so I could show you that there's a flashlight that will be attached to our drone. Like most LED lights, they're about 300 lumens, and that's pretty bright, 300 lumens. So we have a flashlight that is 10,000 lumens. So you can see it for miles and miles away. It's LED. So we're going to attach that particular, it's really futuristic. I might get it before the conversation's over, but anyway, we already have everything to attach it to the drone, and it will basically illuminate the area with a 10,000 lumens LED light. And speaking in Spanish, of course, for the Mexican border, it will say, "You're in violation of the U.S. border. Please return to your home country," something like that. And it could say that phrase in any language, any of the 40 languages that we pre-programmed. So anyway, that's just to give you a little bit deeper understanding of the capabilities of the drone, and we're always adding new features. And so for what happened last year, which it wasn't ready for at that time, by no means. But if we had what we have today for last year, there are a number of ways that the drone could be equipped for that specific purpose, to patrol and protect the borders of Armenia. So, we were just late for those events. I'm very unfortunately, but it was not ready. It was not ready. So, I can only imagine. I can only imagine what kind of publicity capabilities Armenia will have, having it in its possession, and Armenia will be the safest, most well-protected country in the world, I believe, with our drones on patrol. That's just our engineer, John, is the one who was born in Hawaii. He actually worked since the 70s on a radar that we can attach at the bottom of our drone. It's non-lethal, mind you, so it's not a machine gun, but if it needs to disperse a crowd of people that are causing problems, the drone could fly up, turn on the radar, and with special radio waves, the crowd will be made more docile. They won't be as aggressive. They won't be able to hold their weight. They'll have to sit down on their tush.
No.
So imagine, it's the most humane way to disable a crowd without shooting at the crowd and killing anybody. It's like it will hover, turn on the radar, and everybody will simply kind of mellow down and then sit down because they won't be able to hold their weight. But it's completely safe. As soon as we turn off the radar, they will immediately jump up and start doing what they're doing, saying, "What the hell happened here?" It's that kind of technology that we have.
Sorry, Brother Hike, go on. You.
Thank you. It's just incredible what you're saying, and please bring it to Armenia as you want, and probably, as you're saying, probably this is the time. Maybe not a year ago, probably now is time.
Everything in the Lord's providence.
Yes,
Exactly.
and Brother Sam, just we're open. I has never been a government person, official. I'm a private entrepreneur all of my life, and auditor, economist, and recently theologist. I finished one of the biggest Russian Orthodox universities, but I'm an Armenian Christian, but in Moscow, unfortunately, they didn't have an Armenian Christian university. And I finished theology, and I defended my thesis about Great Deluge. And my brother, he is a Christian as well, and he defended about the Armenian dogma of the church. So we're promoting even our faith, Armenian Christianity in that university, and apparently everybody loved us, and were really hostile. But talking about what you said, dear Brother Sam, I'm just, why am I saying this? Like you, like Brother Peter, I just saw that this is a great time that our government and Armenia is ready for people like us just to come and be maximum positive and helpful.
Oh yeah,
and,
sure.
Yeah, dear Brother Sam, and I really see this even in my current work. When I was assigned by the Minister of Economy as a director of this center, of course with the knowledge of the Prime Minister, and I talked with him as well, and he really liked what we offered, and so that you feel that we're like you, and I have seen many different not good things before from different people, a lot of good things as well, but not good as well, dear Brother Sam, here in Armenia before, and I was a little bit разочарованный,
disappointed.
Disappointed, yes. And when everything changed. I came, I was just shocked, how open they are and how they are willing to give opportunities for people like us, because not only we need them, but they are really in need of people like us, and when I talked with Prime Minister about this office, technology transfer office that we want to open in this National Center of Innovation, he was really, really positive about it. And then we talked with the minister, and Brother Peter knows Vartan. He is such a nice person that we can rely on. He is my colleague, and he is a leader of this technology transfer office in this center. And so that they were really, really positive about making a great emphasis on technology and innovations in Armenia and just commercializing and bringing it to the market. So they gave us this opportunity to open. We're in the process of opening. I got assigned as a director of the National Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, but in fact, the center...
You said I lost that. Can you repeat that
Yes,
last?
I got assigned as a director of this center, brothers, but in fact, this center was not operating as a center of innovation and entrepreneurship. That's why new government, they just really are in need of us to restructure the whole center. And the three directions that we're going to do is technology transfer. If you are willing, when you come or later through Zoom, I can introduce you to Vartan.
Sure.
He's a really nice person that we can rely on, and he knows the whole process. He's a scientist as well. He was learning this process of technology transfer, by the way, in the United States for around 10 years, but he was offering all the time to our Armenian government. And before they were just saying, we don't need this. Now they finally understand that we really need this. And two other directions are Unified Investment Platform and Business Support Center. And now we are in the process of getting a governmental approval and budget for these projects. But by formal talks with Prime Minister and Minister, we are approximately when you return in September, we will be ready to go. And just I speak open. Please, maximum rely on us. We can be in any way as you wish, helpful,
Sure.
personally, professionally, dear brother Sam, just so that you feel comfortable when you come to Armenia.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And Brother Heike, if you don't mind, I just have a few sort of questions that are on business and off business, kind of. Where were you in Canada as far as your location?
Yeah, I've lived in. If you would like, I just say a few words about me. I was born in Gyumri, but my ancestors they're from Mush, from Western Armenia, and then my parents they moved to Russia before the earthquake in Gyumri 1 year before, and we've been living in Vladivostok, close to China.
Oh my God, in Vladivostok! Yes. Oh my God, Nakhodka, yes. Right next to Nakhodka.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. My father used to fly there. He was a pilot. He flew the Tupolev 154, Tu-154. So he would fly to Vladivostok, all over the Soviet Union, all the time, constantly. So I know about those locations where he was. No, Vladivostok. That's 12 time zones away. 12 time zones. That's incredible. Yeah, that's
a very spiritual place in the meaning of Christianity, but good place. And I lived there until I was 25, and I finished university. I worked as an auditor in the consulting company Moore Stevens, and then I've been studying at the Russian American University. It's a post-degree program, Maryland University, Business Management, and Russian Holy Mount University economist. And then I just decided to apply for for permanent residency part of Canada, and it took me 1 year.
Were you in Montreal or in
And
Vancouver?
I moved to Vancouver. I lived there for around a year and a half. Then I moved to Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Like a year and a half. But I've been to Montreal a few times.
Yeah, everybody loves Vancouver. It's like the gem of Canada, right? It's like the San Diego of Canada.
Yes, exactly.
The mountains, the ocean, the kind of the lifestyle. But there is in Toronto, there's a woman by the name of Russian woman from Siberia, from Novosibirsk. So she was born in Novosibirsk, and then just about 5 years before the collapse of the Soviet Union, she moved to Kiev, Ukraine, and now she moved, 25 years ago, she moved to Toronto, Canada. And I will send you both a video with what she has to say. She has a school, a Russian Orthodox Christian based school, which is the closest thing to an Armenian kind of a philosophy, if you will, or Armenian church. So she's an incredible woman. She's an incredible speaker. She's a mathematician. But she summarized in half an hour the collapse of the Western civilization in Canada. And Canada is no United States. It's just a drop in a bucket compared to what's going on in the U.S. here where I'm at. But she was spot on. She was talking about, I'll summarize it if you don't have time to watch it, but her name is Olga Mukhina. And so Olga's premise was, this, to summarize, American schools, Canadian schools are teaching multi-gender, transgender agenda to the little kids. It's so sad that the way she delved into the details, it's unbelievable, because her children were going through that. Her children were going through that system of indoctrination. And that's what she took them out and put them in her own school that she formed with her business associates and colleagues who are in education. So they have Christian-based curriculum at her school, and that's her way of avoiding the transgender indoctrination, the dark agenda of the dark forces. So she's an incredible speaker. I've never met anybody who can summarize everything. The way she talks is absolutely remarkable, just remarkable. Guys, no offense, she is better than us. I'm just simply saying that.
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, and when you listen to her summarize the way her mind works, she's like a machine, like a computer. She's not a human being. It's like a beautiful sort of a flowing speech, very eloquent, very together. So everything that we could summarize in 1 hour, she could do in 1 minute, in the same kind of precise precision, eloquence, and logic, and everything constructed beautiful. Anyway, she is a gift from God, I believe, for sharing that information on YouTube. How she wasn't shut down yet, how her channel still operates, I don't know, because this is like going against the mainstream.
Only by the grace of God.
Exactly. But while she's still on, I'll send you the link so both of you could sort of enjoy. Brother Hike, what I was going to share is, besides the drone technology, once I come to Armenia, I'll just let your competent people take care of it and sort of take it from there. I'm not even worried about it. But there's a lot more that I could bring. It's not just a piece of technology. There's so much here that I could bring. For example, right now is the window. I don't know if you had a chance to read my latest email about Bitcoin.
Yes, I have.
There's a rare short window of opportunity right this moment to enter into the digital currency for Armenia, to digitize it. Why am I saying such a crazy thing? Is El Salvador went digital. The country of El Salvador took the route, so they're the pioneers. Nobody's ever done it. The United States is working on that tirelessly.
I have read.
They are trying to introduce the digital dollar, and when they do it, they say by December 31st of this year. When that happens, guys, say goodbye to cash, paper cash, US dollars cash. It would be worth less. Say goodbye to Bitcoin, it will go down to zero. So if you know anybody who owns Bitcoin, it would be wise to exit before US dollar is fully digitized. But beyond that, it's not even, this topic I could actually give a lecture for about 20 hours nonstop about Bitcoin and how the blockchain technology is good and bad and all the pros and cons. The point is, it's gonna go that route, no matter what. It's gonna go digital for U.S. El Salvador is already digital. Armenia, if Armenia goes digital, which would be very easy to do, Armenia is a relatively small country. Let's call a spade a spade. If we go digital in Armenia, we'll be a second after El Salvador, and we'll have the privilege. I could help arrange for that. We could bring hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into Armenia digitally. People will not even have to come physically, because what they want to do is simply buy the currency, buy Bitcoin through our platform. And all we need to do is, all I need to talk is to some local programmers in Yerevan and say, we just need to build this API, and then here connect it to the Bitcoin platform, bypassing all the American platform, because that's how they make money. We'll make all, it will be our platform. It will be our passport to being able to access Bitcoin, Ethereum, all cryptocurrencies on the planet through an Armenian-based platform that's built from ground up. This is how money is made. If we bring in another American intermediary, they're going to share in the profits. It's not necessary. There are plenty of talented Armenian programmers that I can talk to like face to face when I get to Yerevan, and when to immediately build it up. And the rest I will bring. We'll launch the marketing campaign. We'll bring the people from around the world. All the millennials will immediately jump. Imagine when I say they won't have to travel. They just go on their computer and buy through us, through our Armenian platform, which will give them a great deal. Charge them very little, because right now they, to buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin, it will cost $5 in fees. It's preposterous. You buy a $5 cup of coffee, and you pay $5 for the fee to use your. So you see, it's exorbitant. It's crazy, and we're going to change it. We'll make it much more affordable. But for Armenia, it will be gold mine opportunity right now, before the U.S. dollar is introduced. Because after America goes public, then it would be hard to compete with that. So that's another thing that I can right away bring to.
Forgive me for cutting in,
Sure.
Brother Sam. How would this affect people in the regions, like the market gardeners and the people who don't have much of a clue about the internet and stuff like that? How are they going to be able to survive in that world?
Brother Mitch, for them, we'll have a separate marketing campaign explaining in plain English, plain Russian, and plain Armenian how that works. We'll have 3 separate languages, because for those who prefer one or the other, so we'll have a simple YouTube marketing campaign explaining in most basic terms that will give them the convenience, it will give them the portability, and the fact that it's made by Armenians for Armenians locally. But initially, Brother Mitch, I'll have to be very truthful. The urgency there is to bring the money, billions and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars from the outside. I'll give you an example, and then take care of our local Armenian population, because Armenian population, they might be reluctant to switch. It will be hard to convince, plus there's only 1 million of them, while there's 7 billion in the world. Let me give you why I'm so excited about this. There's a company in New York City, which I'm doing the Zoom calls just like I'm talking to you. He is the CEO of this exchange. And I asked him this question. He gave me a black Visa card that is attached to Bitcoin, guys. So every time I swipe, it's the first one in the world. This guy is a genius. His name is Zach. I and 100 other applicants have this card. Nobody else in the world has it. They're just launching it. They're just launching it. They're fully cleared through the SEC, through all the American governmental agencies. In other words, they're fully cleared, and they still don't even understand the full potential, the full sort of a gravity of the law that tomorrow that he says it might change tomorrow they might be shut down. So while it's open, that's the urgency. They sign up close to, I think he said, 100 million per week of new people who buy Bitcoin through their platform, and they charge those fees that I mentioned to you. So they're growing exponentially. Money is flowing digitally, so there is no overhead. They build a standard sort of a platform. It's, cute little pictures. You know how it is today on the websites. It's kind of it's not the old school. It's like these people that are animated people that shows instructions how to sign up. Anyway, so this guy is, what he's done with his Visa Black Card that's attached to Bitcoin is a financial revolution. And we could use that same platform for Armenia. We might even fly him to Yerevan, and I'll be personally sort of like showing him around, like once I get settled, and interpreting for him, translating, and say, Zach, just help us build, but just show us the way. We don't want you to be, and he'll do it. He's just, he'll probably say, for the sake of Armenian people, he'll say, this is what you need here, and he will share with our guys, our programmers, how to get it in place.
He's Armenian? Zach is Armenian?
No, he's fully born and raised in America, but I know him, he wouldn't mind. He's like us, except minus he's not Orthodox Christian, or he's not Armenian Christian, but he's just as might as well. He's got that big heart, So, and this technology is going to revolutionize. First of all, it's going to bring hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars to Armenia, Armenia is going to be on the global scene, on the global map, as this second country after El Salvador who legalized Bitcoin as legal tender, and Ethereum, and the key there is to make that other currency that will be called digital drum. So in other words, when you, Brother Hike, when you tell Mr. Pashinyan or all of your other colleagues, you just tell them, it's not just Bitcoin. We're going to have our own national currencies drum. It will be just digitized, and then we'll give them an option. If they want to buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. We're not going to restrict you, but drum will be exactly used as Bitcoin, except it will be, instead of cash, it will be digital form. People won't see it. Will be like credit card, but it's even beyond that. There won't be anything to sort of hold. It's phenomenal. It's all tied to a number. It's like a number that, kind of like a credit card number. So you don't even have to have the physical device on you to pay for goods or services. It's all 100% digitized. It's remarkable. But the key... Go ahead, Brother Mitch, go ahead.
No, cut in. Just, Brother Hike, could you just give... this is tied in to what Brother Sam is just saying about this technology. Can you tell him a little bit about Jack?
Yes,
because
I was actually just going to tell.
I've only told Sam the briefest details about Jack, but he's an amazing brain, and you can perhaps fill our brother in on maybe what he's bringing right now to Armenia.
Where's he from, Brother Jack?
Let me... okay, sorry.
Go on, Hike.
Can I just say a few words? Yes, and
sure.
Apparently, Jack is from Toronto as well, from Canada. And yet, before I start about Jack, I just want to say thank you for sharing this information. Please be sure that it will be all confident between us until you give us any permission to talk with anyone else.
Absolutely.
Sure. I don't know, dear Brother Sam, I'm going to meet minister on Monday in which information would you want me to maybe share with him, or I should wait you and we can just go together to meet him? What would you?
Well, Brother Hike, I'll be honest with you. I have nothing to hide whatsoever. You could tell him a little bit about the drone. Just tell him it's the next generation drone that doesn't need to be plugged in, because if you tell him it's just a drone, he'll say, so what? It's just a drone. Just tell him it's a drone that doesn't need to be plugged in ever. And if he says, well, how could it fly? You just tell him that's the... there's only one laboratory in Switzerland that has this technology. They're working on it. We're just ahead of it because some of my people on my team, those physicists, they came from that laboratory. They're in America now. Those are my Chinese associates, but they used to work at that laboratory. So that laboratory in Switzerland, they know of this technology that's inside our drone that's already flying. They already know, like they can touch it. They already know all the potential. They just haven't put it in a device yet. And they're working on a much bigger scale. So they, believe you me, when they're ready, which will be in about 3 to 5 years, they know about the whole thing, how it works and the physics behind it. They're just not in a hurry. They're just sort of like, well, they're state funded and they're slowly getting to commercialize it. But when they go, they will not be going with a 27-inch drone. They will immediately go to something much bigger. So they'll have these probably airplanes flying with that kind of technology that doesn't need any fuel. They'll have all the cars that are powered with this kind of technology. And simply because of their mentality and their funding. Their funding comes from the state, and their mentality, there's not in a hurry. They're like scientists. Sometimes they go to work, sometimes they don't go to work. They don't have this American kind of a go attitude. They're like drinking their, whatever they drink in Switzerland, their spritzers or wine, and they are, but my guys here in California, they used to work at their lab many years ago. This is where it all started. We have it, they have it, and as far as we know, nobody else, some physicists, they know of this technology, theoretically, but nobody has sort of put it together. We have it, it's working already. I already told you what it can do. They, in Switzerland, they know of it. They know of all of its capabilities. They haven't boxed it in yet. They just saw, it's no big deal. We're going to get to it in a few years. They're about 3 years behind us. So to just give you the full disclosure, what we have to guard as much as we can because there's a lot of competition. But I would just tell if I were you, I would say, look, there's this guy from America, Armenian, returning and bringing very interesting technology, very promising, could help us out a lot in Armenia. It's just a drone that doesn't need to be plugged in, so we could use it for whatever reasons. And
it uses solar energy or
no. See, what it does on the inside, Brother Hike. I would have to say this. No. I will just tell you this. It uses God's energy.
Okay.
It uses God's energy because if you literally, I'm saying it literally, if you look in the book of Ezekiel, where Ezekiel described, well, he called it a chariot of God that came down, and there was a wheel within a wheel that was rotating, and blue lights shining everywhere. And wherever the angel looked, it's like the Apache helicopter, that's where the cannon goes. That's where the chariot of God went. So that's the technology that we've harnessed. This is the technology that they're almost ready to go public with in Switzerland. And it's the next level of propulsion. So the drone, guys, I will just tell you, the drone and all of these bells and whistles, all these features that I just shared with you, is nothing. It's boring compared to the actual propulsion system inside. So the heart of the drone is what is most heavily should be guarded. All these features that I shared with you, that's nothing. That could be added by any engineer, like within a matter of a couple of weeks, and it does this, and everybody says, "Wow, that's like a miracle." No. What's inside of it is absolutely breathtaking. It's remarkable. It's God's. I would say it's God's technology on Earth for the first time.
Oh. And it literally can lift 120 kilograms, your brother said?
It can lift much more. It's only limited by the chassis. So if we build a stronger chassis, it could lift up to 3 tons. It has no limit. We've limited to what it can carry without breaking down. And because the alloy that we used is super light, and we need that, it's somewhat fragile. So if there is another, by the way, this alloy is the most advanced metal on the planet today. This is why we use it. So if we use titanium, it would be too heavy. If we use some other metal, it's like too old. We can't use aluminum. That's like for our technology, aluminum. You don't even bring up the word aluminum. It's almost like saying, why don't we use a horse and buggy if we want to go to Echmiadzin? No, we get in the car and we drive, right? For
Yes.
our engine, we use that latest alloy that is super light, super strong, but we were able to basically rate it at 225 pounds, which is 100 and just a little over 100 kilograms. Yeah. So if we can find stronger metal, it can be lifting a lot more. It's just for that particular drone, just for that design, for that size, so it can fly through doors. And I mentioned this, the old American coding, the construction codes.
Yes.
If we wanted to, we were just chatting last week actually, we wanted our next project that we were just talking about, building a much bigger drone, but not for kind of a residential use, but for taking it to, for large cargo deliveries, like they can weight like 1,000 pounds, something like that, or 500 kilograms. And we haven't even started it. It was just a conversation. We could easily make it work. So the possibilities are mind-boggling. Now imagine all of a sudden Armenia would be the leader in transportation.
That's incredible.
In like bringing cargo that could be delivered in an autonomous mode. We just need to get the licensing permits for certain altitude that will be ours, and we haven't decided how to do that yet. But all of that could be arranged. By the way, if Elon Musk, if he gets hold of our technology, he would be on Mars next week with this propulsion system. So, in other words, he's such a genius. He got the whole infrastructure built out, and he still uses the old-fashioned engines. If he got hold of our technology, and he is the richest man on earth, he's got $182 billion. So, it's very, very important to make sure that people like Elon Musk don't hear about our technology, because he will send his people that will steal our technology no matter what, and then he'll use it for his purposes. Guaranteed, because that's America.
That's why I'm going to be very careful with whom to talk about it. Please be sure. I'll talk with the minister with your permission.
Sure.
Yes, and I'm totally open. Can I just ask open questions?
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Brother Hike, do you think that do you think on a technical front that we should first of all inform Vatan about this?
Okay.
And it's going to be very difficult for us to sort of encapsulate what Sam said.
I see.
But should we try to arrange? I don't know how Sam feels about this.
Let's enriches.
I'm wide open, guys. I'm wide open.
Before this meeting with the ministers on Monday, I think you said, Hike?
Yes, I'm gonna go with Vartan, by the way. Vartan, dear brother Sam, please believe me. Speak with him like with me. Unfortunately, he's not a Christian by faith, but he is Christian by his life.
Kind of like Zach from the blockchain technology. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, of course.
Okay. And
trustworthy man.
Trustworthy man, yeah.
I would say a few words. First of all, you wrote about Ruben Vartanya.
Yes.
My brother Drachia, I will introduce him to you as well. He is invited by the deputy minister as well. He is joining our team. It was his dream as well, like ours, to return to Armenia. And 2 days ago, I just brought him with my family 3 days ago to Armenia. He's so happy. He met Ruben Vartanyan at his Future Armenia event in Moscow, and they know each other, and he invited him to our center. He is planning to come and accept Ruben. I slightly know him as well, but except Ruben, this past organization that opened in Armenia, Innovation Technology Center, we organized, when we just launched this National Center. We organized a strategy workshop and just invited all industry leaders and first of all government officials, prime ministers, advisors, Deputy Prime Minister Armenian, who is in charge of digital strategy, by the way, his two advisors and three ministers, central bank chairman, and leaders from the private sector, both in Armenia and outside. I can share you with the video, and we just organized this event to talk first of all about unity, that we don't need to compete in any ways for the good of Armenia, and just to decide how we can cooperate, all divisions, governmental and private, to just achieve our goals. And you know, the good thing is that all of these people, first of all, our Minister of Economy and Minister of High Tech, and of course, Prime Minister, they are just for cooperation, and Jack was there as well. I invited Jack. So Jack, he is our friend that also got in touch with brother Peter, and then he decided to move to Armenia, and I just invited him to join our team of the National Center. I am applying to open a digitalization department here. He was a leader of the digital business strategy in IBM Toronto, and he's a great specialist, and everybody loves him here in Armenia. He just consults Minister of High Tech. Minister told me, he said, I know he is a part of your team. Do you mind if I just use his expertise? I said, if Jack is okay, I'm totally okay. We should share all experience. And we had a meeting with Tigran Avinyan's office, Deputy Prime Minister, who is in charge of digitalization. And now they just really understood that they need to do something with all the digital, you know about it better, transformation strategy of Armenia.
Oh, is that the Jack, the guy
Jack
who was doing the transfer,
Akin.
digital transfer? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
He had an idea about bringing, for medical reasons, bringing tourists to Armenia. Is that the same Jack that had this idea to arrange?
No, probably no.
Probably not. Okay, different Jack, probably, yeah.
He's not public as far as I know. He doesn't speak on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we had the meeting with Prime Minister's office in digitalization, and they are really wanting us to help them with all these digital things, you know. And when you come, I can introduce you to them, and we can just be sure that they would really love what you're saying, and what you say, they would really want to, as far as I know, and as far as I talk with them, they would really love to apply what you say as soon as possible. I'm quite sure, you know, and we can help you as a governmental organization in any matters. You know.
I think that would also include the security of this drone.
It would be nice to have a secure location with some big vault where it would be stored.
We need to do everything that we can to ensure that
because
safety.
we don't want a situation where we all one morning come to the office and say, "Where is the drone? Did you see it? No. Did you see it? No. Where did it go? Where did it go?" We don't want that to happen to our drone.
Do you want to patent it in Armenia, or you have already done it in the States? Or you can say about it when you return as you.
No, I'm open for either or. You know, Brother Hike, before I'll give you that answer, let me ask you a couple of questions, because it's very important for us to have this dialogue, and I would be happy to, if need be, And I know Brother Mitch will forgive us to switch to Russian if we have to
Yes,
have that understood.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whatever will, because I was 18 when I came to America, and practically I think like a gringo. I think like an American. So, which from the standpoint of business, that means good. I'm very efficient. I'm very, everything is Americanized in my head when it comes to business efficiency. But I still have an
Yes.
Armenian heart. So it's like a combination of I speak Russian, I speak Armenian, I'm an Armenian, and I came to America as an adult. 18 is, fully formulated, but still, lived most of my life in America, most of my life. So, and by the way, speaking of which, I was looking for a ticket from Chicago to Yerevan online. I could not find it. I have to go through London or Moscow. For some reason, they don't have Chicago Yerevan. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. Anyways, I would be flying from Chicago to Yerevan, and I can't go straight. One day my drone will bring me directly, right? When we'll have passenger drones, we'll fly directly wherever we want. But brothers, I wanted to share with you because this has to do with this sort of a technology, how to keep it safe, how to keep it secure. It has to do with the first city in Australia that was built not for as a penal community for the prisoners for the British Empire, but for free immigrants. That would be Adelaide, of course. This is where Brother Mitch is from, right? And so, Brother Mitch, if you recall, there's a building at 254 North Terrace that was built in 1825 that says Audi Vidi Tace on top of it. If you remember that building in Adelaide, you probably crossed by it and saw the Latin
I
phrases.
would have seen it a million times when I was in the police force, but I probably didn't pay attention to the Latin. Is that right?
Yeah, Audi Vice Tace. It means hear, see, be silent. Hear, see, be silent. And let me just give you a little, because we're talking about security of the drone, what that
Yes.
means. So this is a branch of it says United Grand Lodge of England. So in other words, it's one of the Masonic lodges in Adelaide. No big, yeah,
Right.
no big deal. In America, we have a lodge here at every corner that says something similar. They have their motto. The point is, the Masons are very, very good at keeping their secrets. I'm only bringing it from that angle. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Yeah. So what Masons do, they take an oath. By the way, they also call each other brothers. And in America, I had a good friend. His name was Tom. He passed away. And Tom would invite me over. He never mentioned that he was a Mason. We just were connecting like human beings, human souls. And I think he had a daughter. Maybe perhaps he thought that I was still in college at that time, so he thought maybe perhaps there will be some kind of development between me and his daughter. I don't know, but it never worked out. So he passed away. I went to his funeral. It was many years ago. Tom passed away. I went to his funeral, and he had told me he was a Mason. That's all. A little bit about his organization. But guys, it was unbelievable procession of thousands of businessmen dressed in a black suit with round glasses, spectacles, and they were wearing their aprons with their lodge symbolism.
Yeah.
Remarkable. And some of those people came from Washington, D.C., from New York City, from California, from Michigan, from you name it, from Texas. Unbelievable support. So he was quite an important, I guess, fellow in their lodge, in their organization. And I asked his wife, I said, who are those people? And she explained that he was quite a high-ranking person. But anyway, the reason why I'm sharing this is because Masons know how to keep the organization super structured. Nobody can penetrate through, and they have penalties built in. In other words, if you break the oath, then there are consequences. And so I would like to suggest that we should only use this model from Adelaide that I mentioned as sort of they take it seriously. We should also take it no less seriously than they do. That's the only reason I brought it up.
Sam, I have a question that's been on my mind for a while, and I have to voice it. Now, you say that you are a part of a team.
Yes.
We developed this technology want to produce this technology and market it, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
And investors behind.
Yes.
How did it come about that you were able to convince them that we should launch this in Armenia, and what is their feeling on that?
They don't even know about it yet, guys. This is the hurdle I'll have to overcome by simply giving them the money to walk away from the deal. In other words, they'll just get their part, we'll transfer the technology, they'll be happy, we'll be happy, because they don't even know where Armenia is. They would say, what? If I tell them I'm taking this to Armenia. So I'll have to prepare them and say, well, guys, what do you say? You get 2 million, you get 2 million, you get 2 million. And of course they say, sure, we're retiring. They don't even need the money. They have everything. They have all their life is already established. Some of them have jobs, full-time jobs. They're just doing it as a hobby on the side. So we'll pacify them with money, and they will simply say, sure, take it to Armenia. Good for Armenia, kind of thing. They don't have these ambitious goals to be behind the technology or want to have their name stamped all over it. No, they just, we've done our part.
Your technicians, for want of a better name,
Yep.
Who will continue to develop this.
Yes.
Will they be able to stay with you, or would you be looking for others outside of?
Well, I think we could actually decide to end the relationship with them and start a brand new team in Yerevan to make it a clean separation. That way we'll simply say, guys, how much do you need to walk away from this technology? And they'll simply say, well, I need 5 million, I need 10 million. And we'll simply write them a check, because actually I could get a loan for any amount against this technology. Any amount. Like literally, if I were to go to a private equity firm and say, tomorrow I need $500 million, they'll simply write me a check, because they know this technology is worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. It's actually priceless, because it's a new revolutionary type of device.
And the fact that you are in possession of one of these,
yes.
they obviously are entrusting you to a very high.
Yes.
So, one other question: the physical appearance you said is spherical.
Yes.
So it's got no. It's not. There's no. Obviously. I mean, when we think of drones, we think of blades.
No blades.
But there's no blades.
No blades. No blades.
So it's just going to be a sphere.
Yes.
That has it just like, well, probably if anyone was to see it flying in the sky, they would think it's a UFO.
Yes, it's silent. There is no noise. It's making a humming noise when you put your ear, get closer to it. It makes a low frequency humming noise. Electric humming noise. But beyond that, you cannot hear it. There is no noise, there is no propellers of any kind. All the propulsion is controlled from within the aircraft. And it is a drone, but we actually, internally, we call it an aircraft, because it is an aircraft, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful. Dear brother Sam, I will say a few words when...
Sure.
Dear brother Petros, he told me that he shared with you two of our concepts, let's say made in Armenia.
Yes.
We are going to just promote Armenian brands, high quality brands, and there is going to be another concept made in Armenia, bringing producers to Armenia to produce their products and services in Armenia. And
so it's two separate ones: made in Armenia and make in Armenia. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And if you see the logo, there's a cross inside.
Mm.
Yes, and 4 cubes, like 4 sides of the world. And when you talked about this technology, and you wrote, it's made by an Armenian, we had this idea, to add another concept, made by Armenian, and that's really wonderful.
No, that's great. That is great. Is it an Armenian cross, kind of inverted, four sides inverted cross in a circle?
I will share with you after with you, and You know, when we started this brain game with your brother Petros, and he started it before, then we started kind of officially in the organization. I invited him to lead this year. We had this idea to make Armenia a homeland for not only Armenians but for Christians, different Christians, and as Petros is saying, so many Christians are writing and coming, and Armenia is really happy about it. I mean the government. And talking about trust, I totally agree what you're saying. Please be sure that you can trust us, but this as a Christian, but as a professional, if you need, I know about it, that if you need any kind of agreement, undisclosure agreement, as you say, as you wish,
True.
talking about patents, we are going to have intellectual property department here because of the technology transfer office.
True.
Please, you can use our office as you wish, or
True.
I can help you with any level of the government. Just
I appreciate that, Brother Haig. A little bit about patents. I was gonna, and then I'll ask you a couple more questions if you don't mind. So patent talk. So most of my guys on my team here in America, they live and breathe patents. But we decided not to put any aspect of this technology into any patent office like USPTO in Washington, D.C. because the Chinese in Beijing, they have a team of 20,000 Chinese engineers. They just go to the online office and they copy the technology immediately. So the minute, and this is not just our conjecture, we don't think it might happen, we know that's what they do. So the minute we patent this technology on any platform in the US or Armenia, it will be immediately copied by the Chinese. Immediately,
Nice.
like instantly. And any good engineer, it will take them a while, they can replicate our technology. It will still take them a while to figure out, no way, this actually works. They will copy it in a matter of months. Our technology.
Now, forgive me again, I can't remember who this man was in the grand scheme of things, but your Chinese partner,
Yeah,
if I can say,
sure.
he, how can I say this? He's trustworthy in the fact that he's not going to sell out to the Chinese.
As long as we treat him fairly and he gets the check that he's happy with, absolutely. But he has that Chinese connection. Yes, they all do. They all do. They came to America to find a second home, so they don't really think that they should be supporting the old regime because to them it's still the old Chinese regime, and they like China culturally as Chinese ethnically, but they don't have any obligation to the Chinese government per se to sort of give them the technology. No, they're plus John was born and raised in Hawaii. For Pete's sake, he was surfing all his entire life. He plays guitars in his office. Every time we come in, he said, "John, can we do some work here?" He plays electric guitars, and so John is Chinese, but he's really he plays Hotel California all the time. You know, so it's.
I like that. I like that song. It's even though the lyrics are a bit questionable. It's
a great song, yeah. Especially being in California and Hotel California, it really. So, yeah. As long as we take care of him financially, and if he says I want $5 million, we write him a check. He will be perfectly fine. He will walk away with that in peace and without any reservation or without any kind of alternative motives to sell the technology further or to resell it or to do anything with it. But the lab in Switzerland, that really concerns me because approximately they're 3 years behind, simply because they're not in a hurry. But once they do produce that propulsion system, that will be the end of our drone. So we have approximately a window of 3 years to bring it to market, introduce it, mass produce it, and make sure that nobody could copy it in the process. But they will know about it right away. They'll say, "What the hell? They're already flying this thing." while they're still working on the bigger version of that. So, and they will be quite upset in Switzerland because they they used to be one team, they all were working on it, and to see them produced in America and then launched in Armenia, they'll say, Armenia? Where is that? And why they would not be able to comprehend why Armenia, why not the U.S.? You see, that would be the biggest question. What's the connection? But that's beside the point. That's where we have to do it quickly and very efficiently. So, Brother Ike, if you don't mind,
Yes.
a couple of very difficult questions.
Yes.
Not only they're difficult, but last time I was in Yerevan was in approximately 1986. So we left in 1979, and we were back and forth. My mother would bring me back every summer for the apricot season, right? So, by the way, before I tell you this, ask you this question, so that I don't miss out on the apricot season, this season, when is that last week or 2 weeks in, is it September or August when I should be in Yerevan to catch the season?
I will ask and write about it.
Okay. You don't remember either?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Either. Yes.
Brother Mitch, do you know?
It's quite late, as much as I know. I'm thinking September.
September, that's what I think.
Because we have some brothers who've got an apricot orchard, and every year I'm talking brothers in Christ, and every year they bring around, so many apricots. It's just unbelievable. I can ask them also.
Okay, that would be great.
So
And
I can't off the top of my head remember, but if I made a phone call to Sonia, she'd probably tell me straight away.
Okay, that would be great because I'd like to schedule my flight so I have that 2-week window so I can catch the apricot season. So I will sort of traditionally enjoy it, and then some horovats, of course, some shish kebab and everything else.
Absolutely.
And Brother Mitch, just to add to what you just said, I didn't know you had some friends, brothers in Christ, who own an orchard farm. Absolutely not related to this high-tech world. For my heart, for my peace of mind, I would really like to, once I get settled on everything else, I would really like to invest into a very, very small apricot orchard. Not for money, not even for being out there. Just, I want to buy a plot of land and have my own, like a country-style cottage or home, so I could look at the Mount Ararat. Hopefully we'll be somewhere nearby, like near Arax River, village of Arax. And then I would have a chance to have my own apricots, plant my own trees, to pluck my own apricots with my own hands. That would give me peace and pleasure. And my future wife, by the way, Brother Hike, I forgot to mention, I am divorced here in America. My wife was American, born and raised in America. She was of German descent. We've been married for close to 6 years, and so we are now officially divorced. We didn't have any children. It was strategic. We decided not to traumatize them at the time of our separation. We decided not to have them. So what I'm saying is, when I come to Yerevan, I'll be bringing myself and not my family, just me. And my plan is to build a family, start a family in Yerevan with a local woman and local wife. So that's.
May God help you. May God help you.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so this is why I'm thinking aloud. Maybe a little plot of land, apricot orchard, so I could get away from Yerevan, the hustle and bustle of Yerevan lifestyle, to a countryside and just enjoy that peaceful nature. That would be fantastic. If Brother Mitch, if you can make some inquiries about how to.
Ashtarak area is famous for its apricots. Would you agree, Brother Hike?
Ashtarak.
Yes, totally.
Ashtarak, yeah, beautiful, amazing views. There's some beautiful villages. Well, when they're small villages. They're what you would typically associate with an Armenian village. It's a very simple people. The homes aren't very great, but it's the people that make the home.
The spirit, the spirit of the people.
And they're very down to earth people, and amazing. Apricots come from there. Our brothers that I'm talking about, group of Christian brothers living together. They're not married. They have this apricot orchard, and they're in the Ararat Plain. It's a little bit more difficult to grow there, but it's still by no means impossible. They just need lots of water and the right conditions. But they often have a very good crop. So, yeah, anyway, I'll ask them the question.
Okay, that would be fantastic. By the way, if you see a cloud, a circular cloud around Mount Ararat, that's an indication it's about to blow. It's not a natural cloud formation. That circular cloud, like a hat.
I actually noticed a few days ago on the photo.
Brothers, I'm telling you, this is what happened in 1840 on July the 2nd when it blew. That chunk, the Ahura Gorge, that 74-kilometer piece of Mount Ararat that's missing, that came off. Essentially, it's a chunk of mountain that came off the mountain. That's a stratospheric volcano. It's actually they found some open geysers that are spewing gas, and so that's what is contributing to the cloud. And
I've seen kind of halo cloud on Ararat many times, and I just sort of it's a phenomenon.
That's an indication it's about to. It's trying to release that that pressure. Essentially, it's just a rapid increase in temperature. It's trying to release the gas, and I hope to God it doesn't blow. But if it blows, it's going to be massive volcano eruption. Catastrophic, yeah, because it took out all the villages in that area. It took out and guys, on the spiritual note, before I start asking political questions here, because I did some research on the current political situation there. On a spiritual note. There were some villages in the area that were taken out. All the monks that used to live there in 1840, at the time when the Mount Ararat blew up. Supposedly, guys, well, and from the spiritual perspective, the mountain is holy. Holy Noah's Ark landed there, and he walked down Mount Ararat and repopulated our planet. So he's a very, 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 very special person. So the mountain is protected by the angelic force. They don't want the greedy capitalistic pigs to come there and make it into Disneyland. Charge $1,000. Let's go see, Noah's Ark. And because of that, I believe that's why that is a very dangerous militarily area. There's Kurdish people, Turkish, Armenian, Iranian, and it doesn't belong really to anybody. And so that it's not commercialized. So I believe the mountain is protected by the angels. So anybody who tries to penetrate that area to try to photograph, try to say, well, why don't we make a park? I believe those monks who went there, and unfortunately, even monks could become somewhat greedy in their nature. So what they did is they kept chopping off and taking it to Echmiadzin Cathedral, large chunks of gopher wood from the Ark. And finally, in 1840, that was the end. No more. And this is where, at that time, the Catholicos realized, my God, we've been turning this into this sort of a shrine for, not for money, but for this pride that we have it, nobody else has it. And the angels of God put an end to that. There's no more access to the Ark. You wouldn't dare. Mountain climbers who are... The thing is, see, the tourists, they go to the other side, they go to the western side, but the actual Ark is on the eastern side. And every mountain climber who try to go there, he says it's crazy. The wind turns on the dime. It's like 100 miles an hour. Lightning bolts they strike the mountain hundreds of times per minute. They are afraid for their lives. And they said, I've never seen anything like that. So from the words of professional mountain climbers who've been there, tried to get to the Ark many times, it's a cinch because it's not a difficult mountain. It's not like Mount K2, but I believe it's protected supernaturally. And in 1840, those monks went too far when they continually were bringing the trophy back to the Echmiadzin.
I know this story, dear brother Sam, about Jacob, Bishop.
Can I let you to just? I have to take a quick toilet stop.
Yeah, sure.
Continue if you want to speak in Russian.
Absolutely. С удовольствием.
I'll be 2 minutes.
С удовольствием.
Я слушаю, брат Хайка, я слушаю.
Brother Sam, история про Акупус Меспанага Агапет, когда он пытался подняться на гору и увидеть ковчег Ноя,
Да.
и потом его ангел усыпил и сказал, что когда он проснулся, сказал, что это место святое, и сюда нельзя подниматься, но дал ему частицу этого ковчега, чтобы он пошел назад, и сейчас эта частица вечная азы.
Да. Это, brother Хайк, ты знаешь, там вот после этого события много раз поднимались туда монахи. И вот эти монахи, прямо которые решили, понимаешь, они решили переместиться из Эчмиадзина, там у них было другое какое-то селение, потом они еще его подвинули прямо на гору, потом они еще его возвысили там буквально на высоте 3000 метров у них было селение. То есть они совсем, то, что называется, оборзели, такой вот, используя уличный язык, они оборзели настолько, они хотели быть прямо там, прямо так вот спуститься, взять кусок, принести туда, показать. И вот тогда мне так кажется, такое откровение мне было, что Бог сказал своим ангелам, мы, значит, закрываем это место, никому больше нет доступа. И я думаю, поэтому тогда вот в 1921 году Советский Союз отдал этот кусок земли в Турции, чтобы туда никто больше не совался. Турки там, они охраняют, но они, понимаешь, они дают жить там местным курдским фермерам. И вот эти фермеры, они настолько честно охраняют то место, они специально приводят туристов не туда. То есть они их приводят, ведут, говорят, вот смотрите, вот где-то там он. А туристы все фотографируют. А в настоящее время, в настоящее место они их специально не ведут. Они понимают, насколько это серьезно.
По грехам нашим, да, правда, по грехам нашим, это как храм гроба Господня, да, ключи находятся у мусульман, из-за того, что христиане не смогли договориться.
Именно так. Это просто, вот мы как бы носители веры, и у нас все как бы не так, как вот нужно, да, не так, как вот необходимо, как будто бы у нас вот что-то, где-то кто-то не домолился, либо просто... Brother Хайк, я еще хотел вот с тобой поделиться такой историей. Я ее уже рассказал Петросу. Слушай, как же это по-русски? Брату Петросу? Что ли? Брат Петрос, очень как-то по-другому звучит.
Это очень отличный русский вообще.
Спасибо. Да.
Лучше, чем мой английский.
Ну, ты знаешь, я пытался смотреть, поддерживать практику, смотря на видео, когда еще был жив Михаил Задорнов. Я поддерживал, во-первых, юмор, во-вторых, у него чистейшая русская речь. Я поддерживал. Вот. И сейчас просто я перехожу, смотрю первый канал московский, потом смотрю армянские новости и поддерживаю. Ну, конечно, армянские новости не по-русски, но как бы пытаюсь. С армянским у меня похуже, но я вот, значит, посмотрел здесь 10-часовой курс для людей, которые хотят научиться говорить по-армянски. Короче, я за этим строго сижу. Вот. Так вот, что произошло у меня по дороге в Дилижан. Мне было 5 лет, мы ехали с моими родителями, вот эта серпантиновая дорога, и мы там остановились буквально на 5 минут. Мы все вышли, я тоже вышел. Я вышел, они вышли, но я понял так, что они меня как бы потеряли из виду. То есть я бы, как тебе сказать, я бы попал в какое-то вот очень интересное поле. Это поле меня туда как бы затянуло, и я говорил на каком-то интересном языке. Я задавал вопросы, мне приходили ответы. И вот все эти вопросы и ответы были со скоростью света, то есть там не было никакой задержки. То есть любой вопрос, сразу же ответ. Любой вопрос, я спрашивал, кто я, где мы, вот что это такое. А в это все время мои родители сходили с ума. Они меня искали, я потерялся, у них из виду меня не было. Они говорят, куда он делся? Он же, вы только все вышли. Я не под машиной был, нигде не был. То есть меня не могли найти целый час. Моя мать чуть не сошла с ума, мой папа говорил, да нет, он скоро, наверное, скорее прячется где-нибудь, мы его найдем скоро. Вот, он пытался как бы поднять настроение матери, вот. Она ревела, плакала, вот. И потом, когда я возвратился вот в эту реальность, я только понял, что вот мне именно был такой редкий дар дан, чтобы я как бы прошел через вот
да,
туда, там, туда, где проходят эти все души человеческие, которые
Вот это
спрашивают
да.
те же вопросы. Но мое время тогда было не там остаться. Мое время было тогда как бы получить эту информацию и назад ее принести, но не для себя. Я думаю, у меня это была дана вот этот, мне был дан этот опыт только чтобы я поделился вот с тобой, с Петросом, и чтобы как-то, чтобы мы смогли этим воспользоваться, чтобы вот избежать все эти ошибки вот этих монахов, которые ходили на Араратскую гору, чтобы
А ты
избежать всех.
отчет его помнишь?
Отчет его, каждый вопрос, и в конце, в самом конце я задал такой вопрос. Ну, теперь представь, я там был, там времени не было, и я там задавал, ну, допустим, миллиард вопросов, и на все эти вопросы я получил доскональные ответы. И язык был математический, он не был человеческим, он был именно такой, допустим, как Fibonacci numbers, вот спираль Вселенной, спираль ДНК, спираль наших волос, все идет, вот это вот связано самым таким красивейшим языком. Это язык Бога. Я считаю, что я это называю сам вот из этого такого опыта, то, что я называю по-английски, I was connected to the frequency of God. То есть я был на чистоте божественной.
Вот
И
да.
эта чистота божественная настолько прекрасная, вот этот язык. И когда я возвращался назад, я спросил, вот почему же тогда, если все люди об этом знают, как бы, ну, прямо у них под носом вся эта информация, если так грубо выразиться, почему они этой информацией не пользуются? И мне ответ был, потому что люди не готовы, они это будут использовать в очень пагубных целях, то есть в своих каких-то корыстных целях. То есть все превращается либо на деньги, либо вот то, что я сказал, we hope that Mount Ararat will not be turned into a commercial Disneyland, and that's why, you know, I believe the mountain is protected from not becoming the next Disneyland, because that's what people will do. The minute, if given,
I don't think the Lord will allow that. I know that already. Well, Hayek would know this too, and you probably do. There are 2 American bases on Mount Ararat.
Really?
Yeah.
On? Really?
And they're not very high up. But why are they there?
Oh, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and why are they on the Armenian side and not on the
Turkish
you
side.
know, the western side?
Mm-hmm. That's strange.
So, forgive me, I was just changing as well because I've got to be on my way to where Hayek is now.
Okay.
In you know, I guess maybe 20 minutes I'll have to leave.
Okay.
Your brother Peter is bringing another Christian brother here to our center, and
The historian. I told Sam about the historian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys,
And,
difficult questions, if you don't mind, because this is like, I did some research. Keep in mind, I haven't been in Yerevan in over 30 years, so I just started looking up things or people. So I know now Ruben Vardanyan, I know Robert Kocharian, obviously I know Mr. Pashinyan, and I know also Mr. Ter Petrosyan.
Yes.
No.
Okay, so we have 3 kind of political parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, brothers, please tell me from your perspective, from the Christian perspective, from our spiritual understanding, who of the 3, because I only watch them on YouTube and I can only analyze the way they talk, but you perhaps know them much more intimately or personally, perhaps you've met them, who is the most capable of the 3 and the most useful for Armenia in the eyes of God? Because I'm not interested in like their polls, how they rank as far as, the human, he got 52%, he got 49%.
Yes.
But who is the most honest and useful for Armenia and the most competent of the 3?
Can I answer that from a spiritual perspective? Straight away, I'll say Nikol Pashinyan. Kocharian and Ter Petrosyan, I don't know so much about, but I know they're crooks. They may not have been convicted because we've still got a long way to go in our judicial system here. but Nicole has been trying to change that. I think Hayek would agree with me. So without question, on a spiritual level, I don't know him personally. I know Hayek's met him, and I know some things that he's said, and just his general idea and love for the people, and through some comments he's made about God, I would say without question he's the most spiritual. I think I would just completely eliminate the others as being spiritual at all. What do you say, Hayek-chan?
I totally agree. I am, first of all, I am totally independent, dear brother Sam. I'm totally independent, you know, and nobody, any politician can have any effect on me, my team, even at this center. And but Kocheran and mostly Kocheran and Tel Petrosa, they did so many mistakes, and because of this, we are in this great trouble. And Kocheran, to my mind, and I am sure about it, he is just a Soviet corrupted KGB, you know, just negative person.
Oh, was he in the KGB before?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a friend of Putin, and he is just not trustworthy, not reliable, and really corrupted.
And he supplies all the Toyota cars to the police force in Armenia, right?
Yes.
He's the Toyota dealer, main kind of a guy. Okay.
Yeah, and you know how many negative things they have done to Armenia. It's just, now I'm in the government, so many people from Europe, from states, not only Armenians, they just come and they say, we used to come to Armenia and offer them great projects. They were just asking money personally, so that they would allow these projects to enter Armenia.
I see.
And they were just disappointed, leave Armenia. Now one guy came, he said, I can bring, from the European Commission, I can bring $20 million to an Armenian economy. Not that big money in the government level, but still, I'm saying, what do you need? He's saying, I just need a signature of the minister. I called minister, we met with this person next day. He said, no problem. And he was shocked. I said, why? He said, 4 years ago, I came with the same offer, and the minister told me, how much would I have money? And then he was shocked. But talking about Ruben Vartanyan, I'm just honest, dear brother. He's a Russian oligarch. I'm from Moscow as well. As a person, personally, I'm not sure about his spiritual vision. Personally, he has done a lot for Armenia, a lot. But recently, with Mubar Afiyan, they had a meeting about future Armenia here in Yerevan, and everybody was waiting for them to say publicly that they are a political, they are organizing a political party in the end, but they're not saying about it for now. But I know that they will say it's not bad, but you know, the thing is that he's a Russian oligarch, and I know Russians very well, too, brother. Not Russian people, Russian authorities, you know, Russian Kremlin, okay, let's say, dear brother. They would not let any oligarch to be independent. And if his money and his business in Russia, he cannot be 100% independent in his views about Armenia. But personally, he has done many things, and I know that he wants to be more and more independent. But with such a huge amount of money, it's quite difficult to just take them out from Russia. They will not just let him out so easily, you know. But talking about Pashinyan, dear brother, I have met him. I talked with him about Christianity as well. He told me that this is the most important thing for him, Christianity. And he is a Christian man. He cites Proverbs and Psalms many times during his election campaign. He's a living Christian. I am not saying he's a perfect. He's not a perfect man as all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, and he had made as a politician mistakes. If you want, I can through Zoom or when you come, I will introduce you with my brother. Peter knows him. Gracia. He's a he one of his degrees is political science, and he can just give his views on which political mistakes Pashinyan made. But still, what he is doing, dear brother, first of all, he is clear. He is on Chesney.
Да.
He really wants to help Armenia. That's I'm sure about it. He is not an evil man, but yes, he makes mistakes. But he understands that he makes these mistakes, and he wants to to change these mistakes, and he gives opportunities to people like us.
And he's also
you're talking about Pashinyan, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Brother Haik, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Pashinyan is also like you, he's from Gumri, right?
Close to Gumri, dear brother, Yerevan.
Okay. And Gumri, of course, when I was there, it was Lenin Akan, right?
Yes.
Lenin Akan. And Vanadzor, of course, was Kirov Akan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm still thinking of those old names, so, sometimes it's a little bit... but now that just Vanadzor is, and then Gumri has changed, but the rest of the cities are kind of the same, right? It's not, okay. Yeah, so, well, let me ask you this difficult question again. So, I've watched how Mr. Kocharian gave this wonderful 1 hour long interview for
Russian TV
and Armenian TV. Mm-hmm. He speaks beautiful Russian, by the way. I have to applaud his skill is phenomenal. Linguistic skill is phenomenal. He's very smart, very sharp. He's the sharpest man I've ever heard as far as business-wise, and he makes sense when he speaks. Logical sentences, conclusions, deductions, beautiful speech. So,
the devil also had a beautiful speech when he deceived Eve in the garden.
Very true, very true. So, if we bring this technology, which is very hard to quantify, we'll just call it that's worth, let's just say on the table for us to just monetize it, $500 million. That's a small check because it's a multi-billion dollar industry that would be revolutionizing. So obviously we would need an office, some secure space to store it, and only access just a couple of people who would have access to it with 2 keys, so no one person could take it out. So that could be arranged, I'm sure. Let me ask you this, Brother Haik. So if I were, for example, to sell this technology here in the States, this is only hypothetical. I'm not saying I will do it. This is just an example. If I were to sell this technology here and just fly to Yerevan to just bring my mind and my know-how with me without the drone, just me flying over with a check that, and I'm almost asking a question, your sort of feedback. I need your feedback. So if I were to sell this to any large corporation in America, tomorrow they'll write me a check easily for $500 million and say, Sam, well done, $500 million. So I will come to Yerevan with $500 million. We could do a lot with that $500 million, but we wouldn't have the drone.
I see.
So here's the question for you guys. Would it be prudent or wise to sell it in America and bring the money, $500 million, possibly more? Minimum would be $500 million check. And bring the money to Yerevan and do something with it, something good, productive, and anything that we would have, we would need, versus try to bring it to market, meaning just bring the drone, no money, try to develop it ourselves, try to put it to production and go through. I love Armenia, but I know it's not as well organized as America, probably, right? As far as all the problems in it, this and that. So it will not go as smoothly, probably, as in America. The point is, would it be better to sell it and bring the cash and do something very productive, or to bring the drone, the technology, and let the local engineers kind of tackle with it, and hopefully they will not sell it to the Chinese,
I see.
you know, and
I
risk
see.
that and just give it a go. What would you say would be the best course of action for this technology?
Should
First
I
one.
ask?
Go ahead, brother. Hi.
Hi, you go first. Hi.
This is a really serious question, dear brother Sam. I offer to arrange a Zoom call with the minister. I
Sure.
can do it
Sure.
together and just speak with him clearly.
Sure.
I can tell him on Monday, just in few details about everything.
Yeah.
Then, when you, him, both have time, appropriate time, we can arrange a Zoom meeting and
Sure.
we can just clearly talk about it.
No.
Easily.
But your gut level feeling, as we say here in America, you know, gut level feeling. What does your heart tells you? What does your heart tell you? Should we bring it or should we sell it?
My heart
Yeah.
tells me that it's much more than about money.
Okay.
Yes.
It's about something that can really help put Armenia on the map. If you sold the technology to America, brought over the cash, I don't think that's nearly as important in my mind. And I'm not a businessman at all. You know that. This can really help Armenia. And okay, there are obstacles. We don't. There will always be obstacles.
Sure.
But you can be absolutely confident that we will do everything
Yes.
that we
Yes.
can
Totally.
to see this through. If that's your wish, I mean, it's
Sure.
it's your baby. But if you really want to help Armenia, my gut feeling is bring it here.
Mhm.
If you need to bring some fellows with you initially
Mhm.
to establish this. I mean, you can't start from scratch all over again. Just bring the drone, and I'm sure we can make that happen. If it's God's, and lastly, if it's God's will,
Yeah.
He's going to show us the way. He's going to show you the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's a good answer. Brother Mitch, you really have the gift of. I tell you, this is spiritual wisdom. That's your gift. That's your
I don't
gift.
know. It's not from me. If it's coming from me,
I see the way I look at things is I have May Musk on my speed dial. She used to be my neighbor in New York City. She moved to LA. She takes care of Elon's kids. She's the mother of Elon. So I could call her on the phone and say, May, I have this interesting drone. She'd say, what is it, Sam? It's something that Elon would really like. I'm just saying, just with a phone call, it could be, and he will write any check. I said 500 million, but it could be any amount. And he will immediately, we will see him taking it to the moon, to Mars, wherever he wants to go. I think he wants to go to Mars. The point is, versus, let me just give you a scenario. I bring it to Yerevan with my earnest desire to help Armenia and the Armenian people. And then somewhere down the line, forgive me for saying this, some scumbag steals it, some Armenian scumbag steals it and sells it to somebody like Elon Musk. So not only we're out of the loop, he steals it. Example, 2001. I was talking to somebody in Yerevan about, at that time this technology did not exist in Armenia. It's the voice over IP termination of phone calls. So it was only a carrier to carrier. They had those very special, expensive routes, how they would terminate calls, fiber optic. So I was bringing, it was the connection I had in New York City, a company that would be what's called a carrier's carrier. So they would not deal with individual consumers, they would just build those routes for carriers, for phone companies. So I happily talked to somebody in Yerevan. He was like this kind of like a computer engineer. I think his name was Arik. Arik was his name. So we talked for hours on the phone and this and that. He told me, Sam, well, give me more. He had the blueprints. I would email him the blueprints. Sam, do you have this? How does this work? So he asked me all these questions. And then by the end, in the very end, he said, I just talked to the head guy at Armentel. And the guy at Armentel said, no go, we can't do it. And then a few months later, my brothers, they have duplicated that very route, and they were terminating those calls on their own with that guy at Armentel. And it's all for money. At that time, it was big money. 2001, it was big money. Big, every minute that it would run, it would be hundreds and thousands of dollars. I mean, cumulatively because of the volume of calls. And so they went around me, and that is kind of hard to forget. And that's why I want to ask you, how do we prevent that from happening? Because that's still stuck with me from 2001.
That's why, dear brother, I understand what you're saying. And at the beginning, I said that I was disappointed from some actions from some people. But now I see from first leaders of the company, minister and prime minister, that there is no such thing. And we can do it on any highest level. So there is a higher security.
Yeah.
We can just talk with the minister and then prime minister if you want, when you come with him together, and that's it, brother. And nobody will know about it.
Brother Sam, Brother Hike, what I'm going to have to leave. Okay. If I leave the conversation, you two can carry on.
We can still carry on, yes.
Yes.
Would you mind? Because I don't want to be late for Brother Gevel when he arrives. I'd like to meet him there.
We'll completely
I'm
understand.
so sorry because we could talk literally for a day and never get bored because where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst.
Exactly.
I think just as my parting words, I would just say one most important thing that we do, the three of us, and I always love, that's why I love the Trinity, even though I can't comprehend it. We have a kind of Trinity going here. And let's lay this before the Lord. First and foremost, I think every day. Let's pray that Lord give us wisdom, particularly Sam, with all of the considerations that, there are practical considerations. If we can answer them, that's fine. If not, we have to work on them. And you just keep feeding us with your thoughts. Yeah. And most importantly, we stay in prayer.
Yes.
Even though we might not speak on a daily basis. Yeah. We know that we are brothers together. That's first and foremost. Without the technology.
Without the technology.
And I just thank the Lord that He's drawn us together. I just have not the words to say.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Amen.
So I will leave now, and God bless you, dear brother Sam. Wonderful again to talk to you, and we'll speak again soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
We'll speak here soon, dear brother Peter.
Bye.
Okay, so Brother Hike, I guess мы можем перейти тогда на наш родной язык, да? Ну, это просто уникально, вот такая вот связь, и
на самом деле.
Это, конечно же, это технологическое чудо здесь. Храшка, right? Храшка. А как у тебя с армянским? Du hast խոսում ես թե մի քիչ?
Ասալել եմ, խոսում եմ հիմա մի քիչ ավելի լավ, այս մի տարվա մեջ, բայց այդքան էլ լավ չի, ու հիմա սովորում եմ դրել կատարել, որովհետև շատ կարևոր է պետական աշխատող եմ.
Հասկանում. Тогда перейдем на наш основной, язык, так будет легче, я думаю, нам обоим. Поэтому проектов у меня, вот помимо дрона и вот этой вот цифровой валюты, очень много таких идей, именно вот таких вот уникальных, стабильных, не просто там вот идеи какие-то, которые уже в Америке как бы разработаны, уже они стремительно идут вперед, то есть просто...
Это так здорово вообще.
Да.
Спасибо, что открываешь, говоришь во благо нашего Отечества.
Да.
Я максимально поддерживаю.
Brother Hike, I'm still having difficult time translating the one piece. Brother Hike, да, это звучит по-английски чуть-чуть получше. Скажи мне, пожалуйста, вот меня просто интересует такой вот вопрос, он довольно-таки деликатный, но мне кажется, что у нас секретов не должно быть друг от друга. У меня, например, нет никаких секретов, потому что я приезжаю в Армению чисто по вере, как by faith. То есть я не смогу ничего не сокрыть, не закрыть. Со мной Бог, либо Он не со мной. То есть либо я приезжаю и все открываю, либо вот то, что люди там хранят, это, мне кажется, у них недостаточно веры есть. То есть они как бы пытаются сами все сохранить. И я еду в свое отечество, понимаешь, в котором, мне кажется, темные силы меня хотели убить, когда я был в больнице, в роддоме. И поэтому я как бы приезжаю туда, откуда меня Господь Бог вывез. Я назад еду по Его как бы благословению, потому что если Он действительно меня обезопасил в Америке, то как я могу сам по себе вдруг раз и поехать в Армению, если у меня сюда привез? То есть должна быть Его воля на мой переезд назад. И я чувствую так, что наступило время мне приехать, я просто чувствую так. По-другому нельзя, потому что по-другому будет сумасшествие. Как если у меня сюда привез, сказал, будь здесь, безопасно, там 3 раза тебя чуть там ты не потерял свою жизнь, будь в Америке. И он меня, я думаю, сейчас я так чувствую, назад ведет. Вот скажи мне, пожалуйста, сейчас Европейское Содружество выделило 1,5 миллиарда евро Армении. Это правда?
Они увеличили до 2,6.
До 2,6. Какой банк будет являться принимателем этих денег, вот из всех армянских банков?
Брат Сэм, сейчас я не знаю эту информацию. В понедельник как раз буду встречаться с министром. Частично эту тему буду затрагивать, потому что к нам перейдут функции SME, Small Medium Enterprises. Сейчас процесс идет перевода функций из Министерства экономики к нам. И возможно какая-то доля от этого финансирования. Мы так хотим, чтобы к нам тоже пришло. Поэтому я у него уточню, я тебе скажу.
Хорошо. Я почему спрашиваю, потому что вот в Америке, например, есть такие вот особые, не особые, а просто, как тебе сказать, вот на любом уровне здесь есть вот federal, state, потом county level, потом city level, и эти все административные, правительственные такие вот, что ли, агентства, они they have a different tier level, they're separate. И вот на каждом таком уровне особый какой-то банк является таким вот носителем всех этих ресурсов. И они вроде бы как выигрывают тендер, но иногда мне кажется, что там чуть-чуть больше замешано, они друг друга знают, в один колледж ходили, они из одной, быть может, даже семьи, что-то, хотя не должно такого быть, но все равно. Это, я думаю, точно так же в Армении, да, то есть они как бы по знакомству все это делается, да?
Знаешь, брат Сэм, раньше это было вообще кумовство.
Кумовство, да.
Все вообще. Сейчас максимально они хотят от этого избавиться. Даже вот недавно, получается, один из, так сказать, финансистов Пашиняна, забыл, как его зовут, напишу, посмотрю его фамилию. Его брат выстрелил кому-то в ногу, конфликт. Представляешь? А этот человек один из спонсоров его предвыборной кампании Пашиняна, которая была. Брат это все. Но он олигарх, вроде не похож, как говорят. И он сказал, что несмотря, что это мой брат, не брат, все должно быть по закону. Его арестовали, и сейчас ведется следствие. Вот буквально несколько дней назад.
А он выстрелил в ногу случайно или нарочно?
Я вот вчера спрашивал, как получилось. Как говорят, я не знаю подробностей, но что тот человек с ножом хотел напасть.
Они поспорили, о чем-то поспорили, и он выстрелил. Понятно.
И он не хотел его убить, просто специально в ногу выстрелил. Это я не оправдываю, я не знаю их, я с ними не знаком, я не знаю. Я ситуацию не знаю. Просто мне понравилось, что он ближайший соратник Пашиняна, его брат совершил преступление, его арестовали, сейчас ведется следствие. Раньше, я тебя уверяю, дорогой брат Сэм, во время Пашиняна столько было таких незаконных вещей и убивали. И, ну, ты сам знаешь, в парламент зашли, это в истории человеческой, это редкий случай. Зашли в парламент, государственных лидеров расстреляли, до сих пор не нашли организатора
Это
этих
было в
протестов.
2008 году, если я не ошибаюсь.
Правда, был, по-моему, 98.
98, окей. Потому что был какой-то обстрел вот в 2008 году, обстреливали здание, вот какое-то здание, и там вот был
Да, да,
Тер
да, да,
Петросян был внутри в том
да,
здании.
да, 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 да. Да. А в 2008 как раз во время Кучеряна тоже был митинг против того, он что-то там опять натворил, митинг был, и на площади несколько людей убили опять, знаешь. И до сих пор нет расследования, почему это так произошло. Там столько криминальных вещей было. Но сейчас мне понравилось лично, что ближайшего соратника совершил преступление, его арестовали.
Это как бы друг Пашиняна или его брат?
Это брат друга Пашиняна.
Ага,
Брат друга Пашиняна.
понятно.
Я знаю сына Пашиняна, он работает здесь, честно тебе скажу. У моего друга есть небольшой пив-бар. Я зашел навестить моего друга, а там сын Пашиняна. Знаешь, ну, по закону, говорю, а что он делает? Он говорит, его друг здесь работал, он ходил, навещал друга, а потом говорит мне, а можно я тоже к вам на работу устроюсь? Я говорю, ну, пожалуйста, если хочешь. И он сейчас работает у него просто в бане, представляешь, сын Пашиняна. А раньше это невозможно было представить, чтобы сын Пашиняна где-то там работал. Они заходили в кафе, все кафе очищали, всех выгоняли, представляешь, из этого кафе. Потому что зашел сын Пашиняна, ты представляешь? Ну, они олигархи, у них там столько денег, спрашивают, 21 год этому парню, откуда у тебя столько денег? Он говорит, ну, я бизнесом раньше занимался, в 21 год у него там skyscrapers, небоскреб здесь в Ереване, знаешь, ну, коррупционеры,
да. Да. То есть получается так, что эти люди, если так уже говорить человеческим языком, очень-очень опасны, если пересечь их путь. Очень они опасные люди, да?
Раньше вообще очень опасные, но сейчас, так как Пашинян их всех поставил хорошо на место, знаешь, он возбудил уголовные дела, много кого еще не посадил, к сожалению, из-за того, что ему не разрешает, ну, старший брат, так говорится, знаешь, мне...
Из Москвы?
Да. Вот, ну, сейчас, так как он получил опять поддержку от народа, он обещал, что возобновит все уголовные дела и все коррупционные вот эти расследования будут производиться.
Ну, брат Хайк, тут чисто логически, если проанализировать ситуацию, то даже если без Путина, без связей, ну, действительно, Армения логически, вот если так подумать, без России, ну, никак не сможет выкрутиться.
Да, абсолютно.
То есть никак. То есть, если бы не было российских войск на территории Армении, азербайджанцы бы давным-давно попытались сделать намного больше, чем... То есть там вот российское присутствие держит более-менее стабильность всей Армении, правильно же?
Просто мы ожидали, что это чуть-чуть раньше будет.
Чуть-чуть раньше, да. И, видимо, там были какие-то у них свои какие-то местные недопонимания между Путиным и Пашиняном, мол, и из-за этой недоговоренности все так и обернулось, правильно? Путин сказал, давай делать так, он ему сказал так, быть может, они друг друга, кто его знает, не поняли, а Путин так раз сказал, он бы сделал. А Пашинян, быть может, что-то недопонял или не доделал, и поэтому Путин не сделал того, что все ожидали, быть может, так.
Насколько я знаю, он его с самого первого дня не принял, потому что он не любит людей, которые как революционеры приходят. Он опасается, что это будет прецедент для России, что в России будет его. Он этого опасается.
То есть у них такая небольшая неприязнь друг к другу, да?
От Пашиняна к Путину я не знаю, но то, что Путин его не принимает, это я точно знаю.
Интересно. Ну, вообще-то, когда... Я помню, вот была эта революция бархатная, как выглядел Пашинян с этим гипсом. И вот имидж у него был такой нечистый в плане просто имиджа. То есть он выглядел, как будто бы он только что слез в бронетранспортера, как Леонид Ильич, как его, Владимир Ильич Ленин, да, он как бы слез. Вот. Но я не знаю, я брат Хайк, я за Армению, я за процветание экономики, я за то, чтобы все люди просто вот так вот вдохнули воздух и сказали, слава Богу, у нас все как бы начинается получаться. Вот скажи мне, вот ты уже там, то, что называется по-английски boots on the ground, то есть уже физически ты там находишься на территории, на армянской земле, ты уже там видишь все положительные и отрицательные стороны, ты уже вот как бы прожил. Вот скажи мне, я, который всю свою жизнь прожил, взрослую жизнь прожил в Америке, это очень удобное место. Здесь
Да,
ничего не
конечно.
происходит, все
Это
такое удобное, чистое, замечательное, все
да,
уважают законы, если нет, все в тюрьме сидят. То есть
да,
вот как вот я приеду, вот что будет, я от всего сердца все буду делать, но все равно, вот
да,
что будет для меня очень сложным привыкнуть вот к армянской реальности, ереванской реальности и к армянской реальности. Вот что мне будет самое сложное? Вот как ты думаешь?
да. Вот это я сейчас подумаю честный ответ. И так как я всю жизнь жил в России, а это общий советский блок с Арменией, мне немножко было проще адаптироваться здесь немножко. Вот люди, которые приезжают из Америки,
Да.
какие я видел с их стороны, знаешь, вот какие-то мероприятия, то, что здесь есть немножко какая-то еще дикость есть в плане отношений между людьми, знаешь, культурный уровень. Я бы сказал, что
Культурный уровень еще не там, где он должен быть, а
да,
пониже, понятно.
вождение, драйвинг очень плохое. Очень,
Понятно.
знаешь, и это как-то бросается в глаза, знаешь. Ну, из таких бытовых вещей скажу. Но вот, кстати, Петрос, он же police officer, и мы хотим написать письмо Пашиняну, чтобы он допустил Петроса делать ретренинг полицейских, чтобы они могли следить за драйвингом. И что еще? Что еще, дорогой? Вот это, может быть, небольшая грубость со стороны людей. Вот это, что сказать, дорогой? Вот приезжала семья из Америки, чистые американцы,
Да.
не знаю, это
Не армяне, да? Не армяне.
Нет, нет. Они христиане, муж и жена и 4 детей. Они все любили в Армении. Но они не любили из-за того, что вот проблема, проблема, на мой взгляд, что здесь пока что не построена система. Здесь все как-то точечно, как-то в разбросе, знаешь, а когда в тех странах западных, где все очень четко работает, людям, которые оттуда приезжают, немножко тяжело, знаешь. Но у них не было фактора любви к Армении, знаешь, как армянин. Вот, допустим, Джек приехал из Торонто, он Торонто, ну как Нью-Йорк, примерно чуть меньше город, он говорит, я здесь себя чувствую, ну прям супер вообще. Это конкретно европейский город Yerevan. Но на самом деле он как европейский город Yerevan. Особенно центр. Я лично после работы практически каждый день выхожу, гуляю и вообще получаю удовольствие. И да, есть небольшая грубость от людей, но в то же время и есть тепло от людей, знаешь, безразличие. Они улыбаются. Где-то, может, грубят, но хамства нет, кстати. Вот как вот в советских, во многих странах есть хамство. Знаешь, магазин, тебе... Но здесь нет такого. Здесь
нет. А грубость в чем проявляется? Грубость какая, вот, например, к примеру?
Знаешь, именно лично тебя, манера разговора может быть, знаешь, лично тебя не очень безопасно, очень себя чувствуешь вообще в комфорте, знаешь, не чувствуешь, что кто-то может подойти тебя оскорбить или ударить или еще что-то, это абсолютно нет такого. Но грубость может быть в манере разговора с людьми, в манере походки, что тебе место не уступает.
То есть вот это private space еще нет, да? Private space еще нет.
Еще нет. Или вот встаешь, кто-то приходит, очередь нарушает. И не просто, постоянно очередь. Или там за рулем едешь, они тебя подрезают, знаешь. Вот это.
То есть это до сих пор осталось с советских еще тех времен, да? Понятно.
Да. Не так масштабно, знаешь, в целом очень все нормально, но такие вещи, особенно для западных людей, бросаются в глаза.
То есть поначалу, мне даже, по-моему, поначалу пару месяцев не нужно даже и думать о покупке или вождении машины. Просто такси, да,
я
такси.
до сих пор не купил.
Ты до сих пор не понял. Ну, это интересно. А как вот именно быт устроен? Все, можно уже найти ультрасовременную квартиру или все еще там быт не очень?
Не, классные есть дома, супер вообще Yerevan. Я сейчас тоже смотрю квартиру, хочу купить. Уже все решил, я остаюсь здесь. Я таким счастливым человеком, честно тебе скажу, не был ни в Канаде, ни в России. Вообще. Я чувствую себя, что наконец я нахожусь на своем месте. С минусами, с плюсами, но это мое вообще. Выхожу, люди мои, знаешь, ну, прям супер. Мои дети могут спокойно выходить, бегать на улице, я не переживаю за них. Знаешь, что кто-то там может и украсть, или еще что-то. Я прям
да. То, что детей крадут там, то, что, да, в Америке, это ужас, что здесь, там, не выходи, ни с кем не разговаривай, вот это вот, это, да. Такого
знаешь,
нет,
кстати,
такого нет, да, в Армении.
да, вообще нет, вообще. Статистически, кстати, вот я где-то нашел статистику, самые счастливые дети живут в Армении.
В Армении.
Представляешь? А самые несчастные в Канаде. Потому что там они все не общаются, социализации нет, social network, там еще что-то, вот такие вещи. То есть дети здесь очень счастливые. Я вспоминаю свое детство, играют, обливаются водой, радуются, прыгают. Очень безопасно, очень классно. Жене тоже нравится. Но мы приехали, началась война, правда, знаешь, ей было тяжело во время войны. У нее стресс начался. Но сейчас она из-за этого стресса выходит и общается много с местными людьми, и с армянами, и не с армянами. Так как я приехал по программе диаспоры, и была такая программа, и вот называется. Министерство диаспоры, оно привлекало армян из диаспоры, как я и ты, чтобы работали в государственных структурах. И там много моих коллег, они тоже из диаспоры, знаешь, и очень здорово. Есть такая группа, они встречаются, общаются, и местные армяне, и зарубежные армяне, и не только армяне, знаешь. Ну, как тебе скажу, надеюсь, что это у меня это точно не очарованность, потому что я не первый раз в Армению, я уже 6 лет приезжал, уезжал. Как ты, я приехал, искал семью здесь, знаешь, женился.
А твоя жена из Еревана, или ты ее из Торонто, из Канады, или из России?
Из Кемри.
Из Гюмри, серьезно, да? А ты именно ее нашел, когда вот после поездки в Армению, или ты там как-то с ней переписывался еще из Канады, из России?
Ты знаешь как, я когда в Канаду поехал, я первый раз зашел в армянскую церковь в Канаде. Так как, ну, советские страны, еще атеизм здесь еще есть, знаешь, особенно вот в России, во Владивостоке вообще там. И я в Канаду приехал, с армянской семьей познакомился, они в воскресенье поехали в храм, меня пригласили, для меня это новость была. И тогда у меня проснулся патриотизм, армянство, знаешь, и в храме, вот в армянском я в церкви начал подорожать, ходить тоже, знаешь. Это я так очень сильно... И после этого я все мечтал назад. И я так вернулся в Россию, а потом уже начал ехать в Армению, и когда один раз поехал в Армению, гулял на площади в Кемри, и случайно увидел свою супругу, знаешь, на площади. И вот так ее сфотографировал, и потом по фотографии, ну, Кемри маленький город, узнал, где она живет, что, и так познакомился, вот, поженился.
Это то, что называется божественная встреча, divine appointment, divine connection, да, это уникально. Я вот именно так же надеюсь, что у меня точно так же получится, и Господь Бог мне пошлет мою будущую жену именно так, как с собой произошло.
Я очень надеюсь, с Божьей помощью, я уверен, так и будет.
А ты знаешь, брат Хайк, у нас же такой, то, что называется, this is a very special gift, то есть такой дар от Бога, что мы говорим на нашем, втором, но все равно в нашем родном языке, да, так замечательно. Это же не английский, это же наш более еще такой вот к нам, к душе. Вот.
Я люблю очень русский народ, я честно скажу. Я вот даже учился в православный русский институт, меня там так тепло приняли, русские христиане. Я с ними как братья, знаешь, очень люблю. Немножко политически. Я не политолог, правда, я честно скажу, я сразу сказал, я независимый человек, даже здесь в плане government. Ну, в плане политологии, если интересно, вот познакомлюсь с братом, когда будешь.
Конечно, да, конечно. Я вот хотел спросить, ты знаешь отца Грачева, по-моему, его зовут, он из Киева, но он переехал в Москву, под Москвой, он где-то у него там община, он великолепно говорит на большую аудиторию, у него вот что не служба, то вот 500 000 человек моментально смотрят его по Ютубу. То есть, а некоторые у него ролики есть по 15-20 миллионов просмотров. И вот его зовут отец Грачев, либо Грачев, либо Плачев, что-то в этом роде. Я тебе вышлю ссылку на него. У него тоже, как вот у Ольги Мухиной, такая, ну, дар такой речи. Он что не говорит, так вот, он переехал из Киева потому что он там говорил правду, и его местное правительство, короче, ему угрозу, у него 4 детей, и угрожали и жене, и детям, и он сказал, то, что называется, enough is enough, хватит с этим, и переехал в Москву, он как бы безопасностью сейчас там.
Секунду, прошу прощения,
Да.
у меня сюрприз, прошу прощения.
Хорошо, хорошо.
Сейчас, одну секунду, покажу, кое-кто пришел.
Oh, Brother Mitch, you made it.
I left my mobile in the car. I'm in the very
Brother Mitch, it's so good to see you. Now,
Oh, I haven't seen you for such a long time.
I know it. That is.
Very good talk. Yeah, very good. И он, получается, ну, буду знать, интересно, потому что я почему-то не слышал про него, но я очень близко общаюсь. Андрей Борисович Зубов.
Его зовут Андрей Грачев, вот, Андрей Грачев, да.
Или Ткачев, может?
Как?
Ткачев, может, Ткачев?
Ткачев, Андрей Ткачев.
Окей,
Yeah.
Андрей Ткачев, that's him.
Again, I'm going to sign off. So I go and wait for Brother Gibble downstairs because he's never been here before.
Okay. Brother Mitch, it's always good to see you. We're going to be an inseparable sort of a group of friends. And
I hope so. Okay. God bless.
God bless you.
Да, я его знаю, я с ним лично знаком.
Ничего себе, Андрей Ткачев, да, про него про него, да, он из Киева переехал, вот где-то под Москвой там, да, где-то под Москвой.
Да, он хороший очень много людей его смотрят, армян очень любят.
Он постоянно говорит про армян, он говорит, вот армяне, вот это нация, он что-то хорошее постоянно говорит. Например, там у него была программа, и он, значит,
алфавит.
Нет, ему задали вопрос просто про Библию, а он спросил, молодой человек, а вы чем занимаетесь? Он говорит, я играю в команде, я в футбол играю. За какую команду? Он говорит, Арарат. Он говорит, где-то в Москве? Да. А кто владелец? И там владеет этой...
Там был, Ташир сам был. Карапетян.
Да, и еще Грач Карапетян, да, Грач? По-моему, если я не ошибаюсь, Грач. Он говорит, ну вот армяне везде, даже в Москве они. Вот, и он постоянно что-то положительное говорит про армян. Да, но это уникально, наша такая взаимная такая связь между... Вот, я его здесь слушаю, ты его даже знаешь лично, это уникально. Вот это уже уникально. Мир тесен, да, мир тесен.
На самом деле, я еще очень хорошо, знаешь, Андрей Борисович Зубов, он не такой прям популярный, на мой взгляд, он один из лучших религиоведов и христианских богословов России. И он высокий такой интеллигент, интеллектуал, как будто с 19 века, знаешь, вот такой.
Слушай, это седые волосы ему за 60?
Да.
Я его очень обожаю слушать, очень обожаю. Да, ну конечно, он такую правду матку говорит, что просто уникально. Он такие вещи говорит, что, ну, молодец, он как бы, чтобы людям запомнилось, он говорит, вы знаете, вот в зале он обращается к молодым семинаристам, к студентам, и говорит, вы знаете, ребята, Бог вами не интересуется, вами интересуется больше дьявол. Потому что он за вами бегает, и он вами очень интересуется. У него очень такой необычный такой подход.
Это Осипов.
Осипов, да, Осипов.
Они, кстати, вместе были научными друзьями, в общем, с Зубовым вместе. Осипова я тоже знаю, я был в Троице-Сергиевской лавре, я с ним познакомился, был у него преподавал, когда он семинаристом.
Это уникально, ты его тоже знаешь. Я же перешел с американских проповедников. Например, был, может, ты слышал, доктор, не могу вспомнить.
Прошу прощения, Геворг.
Геворг.
Садитесь. Я сейчас познакомлю. Это Факов.
Здравствуйте.
Это Наш брат Самвел из Нью-Йорка, из Америки тоже вот
Очень рад Самвел.
Очень приятно, очень
в
приятно.
Армению. Хакоп, я как раз хотел про Хакопа рассказать. Он с семьей переехал с супругой из Голландии в Армению, переехал несколько месяцев назад. И Хакоп, он наш верующий брат, в Голландии тоже организовывал такие... Хакоп, лучше ты
Хакоп, какие первые впечатления о Ереване, об Армении? В общем, какие вот впечатления?
Дорогой, как сказать, я очень жалею, что опоздал. 26 лет я жил в Голландии, и в позапрошлом году мы решили, то есть мы получили, можно сказать, откровение, что мы должны вернуться обратно в Ереван.
Да.
И для меня это было вообще неожиданно. У меня планы были расширение наших этих планов в Америку, даже в Европу, да, из Голландии. И вдруг Святой Дух говорит, нет, ты должен идти в Армению.
В Армению.
И очень интересно, потом, дай Бог, чтобы мы встретились, я подробнее тебе расскажу, как это откровение было. И когда мы приехали, как будто все было подготовлено уже. Все было подготовлено, и несмотря на все, вот мы приехали в сентябре, в прошлом году, вернее в августе. Через пару недель там война начинается.
Да.
Представляешь наши впечатления, мы с энтузиазмом, с вашей радостью приехали, и вдруг такая ситуация, но слава Богу, что наше решение было не по человеческому разуму, мы остались. Остались, и ни на минуту не жалею, что мы здесь. Я знаю, что у нас есть миссия, мы не знаем, почему мы здесь. Наша цель, чтобы вот именно Царство нашего Господа Иисуса Христа было отражено в наших, во всех отраслях наших, как говорят,
нашей жизни, да, чтобы мы являлись отражением божественным, да.
Да. In society, several levels of the society. So, и у нас есть уже связи с руководством, с разными церквями работаем, с организациями международными, с бизнесменами христианскими. Там Демос Шакарян, ты, наверное, в курсе, знаешь, американец он был. Демос Шакарян.
Что-то из Греции?
Не, из Лос-Анджелеса он был. The happiest people in the world.
Oh, yes, yeah. That rings a bell. Yeah, now I remember. I think I remember.
Он очень влиятельный человек. Сейчас он на небесах. И вот организация его также в Ереване есть. Мы плотно сотрудничаем, чтобы вот в принципе нашего царства, христианских норм и, как говорят, values, чтобы было в разных отраслях нашего народа.
Брат Хакоп, да? Хакоп?
Да, Хакоп, да.
Хакоп, Science, как люди тебя принимают? Вот местные люди, как они принимают?
Честно говоря, дорогой, они не понимают, как я мог это решение сделать. Они думают, ты с ума сошел, у тебя там дом, 26 лет, там бизнес у тебя, состоялся там, можно сказать. Как ты можешь это все оставить и приезжать? И если я буду слушать их, на самом деле по-человечески это не рассудимо, да?
Да.
Но глубоко в душе у меня есть этот призыв. Глубоко в душе. Это не могу я простыми словами объяснить. И поэтому не имеет значения мнение людей. Не то, что я игнорирую их, просто я не хочу дать повода сомнения. Потому что я знаю, почему я здесь, и я вижу невидимую руку Господа нашего, что Он водит и наши дороги для того, чтобы на самом деле корни, наши глубокие христианские корни, они дали новые плоды.
Это называется ассохоска, да?
Ассохоска, ассохоска, revelation, ассохоска, հայտնությունով է։ Ասոխոսք իմ կյանքը փոխել է, եղբայրջան, ես ինքս ճիշտ է, հավատքի մեջ եղել եմ մեր հայկական ձևով, խաչքարերով, մոմերով ու սուրբ անկյունը պետքա ստեղծել, բայց երբեք չգիտեի ասոխոսքը։ Ու մի օր իր ողորմությունով ինքը ի հայտ եկավ ինձ։ Ու ես այդ օրվանից ինքը ցույց տվեց ես ով եմ, ես ինչերի մեջ եմ ու ասեց ես քեզ սիրում եմ ոնց որ դու կաս, քեզ ուզում եմ ուղղակի ազատեմ այդ խավարի մեջից։ Ու այդ օրվանից ես ասի դու ով ես, ես ուզում եմ քեզ ճանաչեմ, ասես գնա ուսումնասիրի իմ խոսքը, Աստվածաշունչը։ Ու վերանորոգվեց իմ միտքը Աստվածաշունչը ուսումնասիրելով ու ես հասկացա որ իրոք շունչ կա դրա մեջ, Աստվածաշունչն է դա։ Ու ես ապրում եմ, իմ դա կյանքի ձև է, ոչ թե կրոնապաշտ եմ, այլ Աստվածապաշտ։ Շատ եմ սիրում մեր առաքելական եկեղեցին ու ցանկություն ունեմ որ արթնություն գա մեր առաքելական եկեղեցու մեջ։ Նույն ժամանակ համագործակցում եմ բոլոր ճշմարիտ քրիստոնյաների հետ։
Шадлат, но вопрос такой самый главный. Когда я приеду в Ереван в сентябре, через пару месяцев, сколько нас таких будут, вот таких вот западных...
Знаешь, уже очень сильная команда собирается, дорогой. У меня есть очень влиятельные друзья тут, которые пережили вот born again experience. Ты знаешь, да? Вот есть уже, Бог уже создал эту команду. И вот у меня в сердце было, как раз Сайком должен был сегодня об этом говорить. Когда я приезжал, у меня было видение, чтобы создать вот, можно, NGO,
non-profit, yeah.
Non-profit, որպեսզի կարողանանք այդ նմանատիպ մարդկանց միաբանել, մոբիլիզացնել, քաջալերել ու կարողանալ փոփոխություն բերել մեր պատմության մեջ, փոփոխություն։ Ու ես հավատում եմ դա Աստծո կամքի համաձայն է ու գերբնական ուժ կա դրա համար ազատված, anointing is available։ Հասարակ ձևով չենք կարող մենք դա անենք, դա գերբնական երկնային օգնության պետք է լինի ու մենք խոնարհ գնում ենք, Իրանն է փառքն ու պատիվը, մենք խոնարհ գնում ենք, ինքը Իրան պետք է ուղղակի հավատարիմ մարդիկ, մնացածը ինքը կանի Քրիստոսը։
I'm coming. I'm telling you, just
really. Where are you located? In New York?
Yes.
Oh, great. So I have been in New York, in Washington as well. I have lived a couple of months in the United States. So when you come, we will have much to discuss together.
Oh, absolutely.
And also, we are trying to. Do you know the breakfast, prayer breakfast? The family organization there in Washington, D.C. They organize prayer breakfasts.
Okay, yeah, I think so. Yeah, they also
national prayer breakfast for congressmen.
Oh yes,
for the
yes.
president.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, absolutely. That's
so now we are deeply involved with them, and they are very interested. My friend was recently in Washington, so they want to support us.
So, Brother Jacob, let me ask you this: if I understood you correctly, you want to build a platform that if people, maybe I misunderstood you, but let me just say it in English, so maybe we're on the same page.
Yes, go ahead.
So, you want to build a platform. It's a non-profit, so people could donate money for a cause, correct?
You know, I don't care about money. So that it is not about money. This is not This is not about money. This is about mobilizing people.
Right.
About mobilizing people. About bringing the right people on the right place for the right purposes. So the money is available. You know, we have experience. We know that the Lord says the gold and silver is of mine.
Sure.
So He has everything. Prepared. He's just looking for the right people to make it available. So I am more, of course we will need the right people with the right resources, but the main focus is to gather these specialists, to gather these professionals, to gather these people who are called to make a difference and to bring the kingdom of God back to Armenia in several levels of society.
Okay.
So it is not about only the church, because Jesus Christ, He came, He says, I am coming, I am the King of Kings, I am not a religion leader. You know? So He brought the kingdom of God, not one extra religious movement. So when you study the biblical truths in the light of the kingdom of God, there's really amazing, amazing.
No, 100%. The only reason I brought this up, I already built the platform, so it's already in place. If we need it, it's already built. So people could go online, donate with credit card, debit card,
So you
Bitcoin.
have this platform?
It's already
as well?
done. It's already done.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
I will be glad to see that.
Yeah. So,
So it can be, of course, this will be additional. This will be additional platform. So,
Yeah.
but our goal is to mobilize. Not the money is important. We know money. We need money, but we need more than money. We need people who are dedicated, people who are willing to give their hearts for this movement.
yeah. And in America here, what I do is I whatever comes in, you know, I donate it to orphanages. So there's
Oh, great!
See,
So you are good. You are right. You have a right heart, my friend.
yeah.
So I do the same kind of work. Do you know Compassion? If I am not wrong, this is American organization, Compassion.
Compassion.
Compassion. They bring one child in contact with the one family. So the family donates, I think in the United States, $1 each day. And now I organize such kind of organization for my Dutch, Netherlands friends.
Yeah.
So they are how do you say, they sponsoring one child, Armenian child. Already we have I think 15 children. So they are not donating only €1 each day, but they are involved every day in their prayers, in their thoughts. They have contact with these children, and these children, you should see when you come. We will go to see them.
Sure.
They are so glad that they know there are people who are praying for them, thinking about them.
And the children are orphans, right? No parents, no relatives.
In this case, last time I was in contact with a very humble, very interesting man. He has already 6 children in his home.
Oh, it's like
orphans,
a foster
from
home. It's called foster home. Yeah.
From the streets. He picks them from the streets. The government, he's hopeless. The government is hopeless about these children. They were in criminal paths, but he received them. It is like a rehabilitation center for children. But at the same time, we have also a couple of families where the parents are not able to work. For instance, the father is sick or mother is, they are not able to provide necessary support for their children, and then we support them.
It sounds like Brother Hakop is on fire, right? He's like on fire. Prayer warrior, and he's like on fire. That's amazing.
And this is the fire of the Holy Spirit.
By the Holy Spirit, yeah. You know, maybe some of that money, that $2.6 billion that the European Union is sending to Armenia, maybe some of that could be allocated towards this cause.
In any case, you are right. We have to have the right projects in order to use this opportunity.
Yeah.
And we will see. From my experience, the first, when I was young, I was praying, Lord, I want to have this kind of money. I want to make good works. And first thing he told me, what do you want to do? Let me know what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have a plan, money will be given to you.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Ask and it will be given. So that's why let's make a plan together. Let's understand what we can do, and resources are enough in the world.
And by the way, trivia question, guys, for both of you. Out of that $2.6 billion that's coming from the European Union, let me ask you this. For example, when Vladimir Putin was building that second cosmodrome called Yuzhny, right? He allocated $50 billion US. Half of it was stolen. When he came to check up on the project, there was nothing there. He said, "What is this? Find everybody who stole the money and take care of them." So immediately everybody got scared. All of those subcontractors who stole the money by the billions were found and imprisoned for many, because it was like a national project. And he said, you can't steal from here. I mean, if you steal, just steal a little bit. They stole half. So they walked away with $2.25 billion. Can you imagine the audacity? It's great. Let me ask you this. This is just a trivia question. How much money do you think will be stolen in Armenia from the $2.6 billion?
If I can give this, it is. I think our goal should be. We have to make the question in another way. So know how much will be stolen. We need to say how much will be used for the right purposes.
For the right purposes. Amen to that.
For
yes.
the right purposes. So our focus will be on the right purposes, on the right people,
Right.
and of course we have to have in our ability what we can where we can be how do you say how do you say responsible about that. So we need to have we need to take care of our responsibility. So, and you know, I can give promises about other projects about our people. The world, not only in Armenia, also in United States, also in Europe, in the Netherlands, where the money is, there is the evil one.
Yes.
You know? So,
yes.
so that's why let's think not from the worldly viewpoint. So let's think what we can do in order to be really open-hearted and with to say, look, this is our project, check it, and we have done this. So,
no, I agree.
But see, and be us for example for others.
Yeah. But see, in America, everything is at some point gets so practical. So if you want to know the truth, you said it the same way I said it. How much will be used for good? How much would be lost? So how much do you think would be stolen? Half or not that much?
No, I don't think so, dear brother, because Prime Minister, he has changed all the main figures in governmental structures, main figures, but still there are some officials.
Loopholes. They find the loopholes, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
They find the loopholes. Лазейки, да, они находят лазейки, да. Это ужасно, это ужасно.
You speak good Russian. Where did you learn it?
Well, I'm gifted by God. Господь Бог дал мне такой очень интересный дар, что у меня...
Are you born in the United States?
No, я родился в Армении, в Ереване.
Okay, so you are from Yerevan.
Yeah, of course, yeah. А ты тоже из Еревана, да?
Да, я из Еревана. Мне 19 было, когда я выехал.
Мне было 5 лет, когда родители уехали из Еревана. 5 лет, то есть я приехал в Нью-Йорк, когда мне было 18. То есть я вот этот промежуток провел на Украине и в Латвии. Поэтому у меня есть опыт. Вот. Но это, слава Богу, это, как говорится, Господь дал такую, вот, допустим, такой дар, и, слава Богу, нужно использовать для лингвистических...
Правильно делаешь, дорогой, что всегда славу даешь Богу.
Только так, по-другому никак. То есть себе присвоить это невозможно. То есть Бог
чем ты занимаешься, если не секрет?
Да нет, секретов нет. Я в финансовой сфере. Guys, can you still hear me? У вас это самое... Я не знаю, вы меня слышите, нет? У вас связь... Если вы меня видите, дайте знать. Связь заморозилась здесь, получается. Одну секунду. Сейчас мы посмотрим, это у вас или... вот вижу, я вас вижу. Вы разморозились. Вы заморозились и потом разморозились. Это у вас или у меня здесь? Я не знаю.
Самвелджан, правильно, да, говорю, Самвел?
Да.
Самвелджан, мы очень ждем тебя. Я верю, что случайности не бывает.
Не бывает.
И я просто очень рад и благодарю Бога для нашего знакомства. Ты приезжай, мы будем детально все обсуждать. И твои ресурсы, там наши ресурсы в Европе, и тут, что открывает Бог. Я знаю, что Бог собирает команду, и ты один из них. У меня видение, чтобы Гидеон, ты слышал Гидеона? 300 человек у него было. Да. Нам нужно собрать 300 человек, и мы соберем. Ты один из них.
Я согласен. А сколько сейчас уже у нас набралось людей в Ереване?
Смотри, официально пока ничего не сделано. Я хочу регистрировать эту компанию, посмотрим. Даже, может, и не нужно регистрировать. Но есть уже, десятки есть, сотни есть. Сегодня, как раз утром, я поговорил с моим очень хорошим другом из России. Он очень влиятельный человек. ну, протестантском там движении, да, он из протестантской церкви.
Да.
Для меня нет разницы. Я очень люблю нашу ортодоксальную церковь, я считаю себя ортодоксальным, но у меня открыто, понимаешь, у меня друзья, очень сильные друзья из Evangelical Pentecostal Movement также. Мы сейчас время, чтобы мы объединились, а не разъединились.
100%, да, конечно.
Если Иисус будет в центре, то остальные деноминационные вопросы отпадают. Иисус наш центр. И так что хочу сказать, из разных стран мира, из Европы, из России, вот ты из Америки, у меня брат в Лос-Анджелесе, очень такой сильный тоже в духе, и всегда он с умом и духом с нами. То есть есть много, нужно их мобилизировать. Вот платформа, что у тебя есть, я буду рад увидеть и посмотреть, каким образом мы можем использовать эту платформу. И вот откуда начинав или присоединить там другие сервисы, чтобы было более, чтобы люди не поняли, мы просто деньги хотим собирать. Нет, деньги собирать это не наша цель. Деньги соберутся. Наша цель осуществить проекты.
Абсолютно, да, верно. И это, кстати говоря, очень просто. Там просто платформа, веб-сайт и ютубовские видео. Если люди хотят, они делают донации, да, то есть они...
А какие видео? Видео какие?
На религиозную тему, допустим, как, я чуть-чуть на английский перейду, допустим, for example, how to defeat the devil, how to keep your marriage safe, because the marriage...
А кто преподает?
Я преподаю.
Ты что? Ты Дерека Принца знаешь?
Слыхал, да.
Дерек Принц, он очень сильный учитель, очень сильный. Без никаких деноминаций, профессор, по-моему, в Оксфорде. Очень хороший человек. У него сильное учение. Мое желание было, чтобы открыть школу, онлайн-школу. Вот именно все, что ты делаешь, это сделать более на учредительном уровне, чтобы была школа. Так что приезжай, отправляй мне твою ссылку, пожалуйста.
Да, конечно, да.
Хаков Тумасян, если по Facebook ты поищешь, найдешь, или же я возьму твои контакты у Хайка.
Да.
Отправляй мне очень... Ты в каком церкви, дорогой?
Ну, я был, значит, I was baptized in Echmiadzin. So when I was born, you know, a little baby, you know, they took me to Echmiadzin. So I used to go to the church in Echmiadzin. Then, when I came to America, I went for the knowledge. So to learn the Bible, it was obviously a Protestant church. It wasn't Orthodox. So now, the last few years, I was listening to what Brother Haik was saying of Andrei Tkachov, Osipov. Those are the Russian Orthodox, great leaders of Russian Orthodox faith. Phenomenal teachers, just beautifully gifted. So now that I will be in Yerevan, we have to have our own kind of a direction. So, because if we cannot get the knowledge or the knowledge of the kingdom of heaven from the Armenian Apostolic Church, somebody has to feed the people with this Word of God. Somebody has to give them the information. In me, because I lived all my life in America, it's part of American lifestyle. Everybody knows every story, biblical story, from cover to cover, without even thinking about it. We just sort of all know about it. But in Armenia, I talked to a woman in LA. She's 69 years old. She doesn't know anything, even though I said to her, make maksavorink. She said, maksamor? What is that? And when I say something, she said, what is that? I said, what? I said, did you go to Armenian church? She says, yes. I said, you never heard this word? She says, no. I'm appalled. It's breaking my heart. Armenian people don't know anything about the Bible. Like zero.
Dear brother, I'm so glad that you have this vision. Now I have started an organization in the Netherlands. It is interchurchable. How do you say? Interkerkelijk. Междуцерковное. между церковью, не имеет значения, ортодоксальный, протестант, католик, я всех
Oh,
там...
interdenominational.
Interdenominational,
Yeah.
interdenominational and non-denominational.
And non-denominational. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
И смотри, что было. Когда я потом расскажу мое свидетельство, как Иисус позвал меня, как Он спас меня, личное откровение было. И я был заново рожденный. И несколько лет самостоятельно изучил Библию. И потом я был на связи с нашими духовными лидерами по ортодоксальной церкви армянской. Но они смотрели на мои глаза и думали, что я инопланетянин. Понимаешь, о чем я говорю?
Да, да.
Ну, в любом случае, я очень уважаю, люблю нашу церковь. Но в один день Бог мне дал сон, что когда я был бизнесом, занимался бизнесом, у меня компания в России была, все покаялись, там олигархи, директора, кому я рассказывал мое свидетельство, Святой Дух, Он сам касается сердец, понимаешь? Ты можешь иметь обучение, ты можешь несколько книг даже писать, но если Святой Дух сам не будет действовать, ничего не произойдет. Коротко скажу, Бог показал и дал мне видение, что я должен рассказать и обучать учеников Христа из разных национальностей. И сейчас у нас в Голландии эта организация работает, у меня уже лидеры там, и я приехал в Армению, но они продолжают эту работу, и я на дистанции, я был недавно там, у нас и из Бразилии есть, и из Голландии, и из, там, даже из Пакистана есть, разные национальности. Из Африки есть. Они что у нас? Ты на сайте можешь читать их свидетельства. omegakerk.nl omegakerk.nl There you can read their testimonies, how they are healed, how they are delivered from evil spirits, from incurable diseases. Бог исцелял. И сейчас они свидетельствуют через наше движение.
А были ли свидетельства, не свидетельства, а были ли явления воскресения из мертвых?
Да, да.
Это уникально, это уже серьезно, это уже серьезно.
Было и очень, очень интересно там, ну, если ты приедешь, я тебе познакомлю с этим человеком. Эта женщина сейчас в Армении сейчас.
Это уже, вот это уже пахнет тем, чем я хотел бы познакомиться.
Это, честно говоря, только его милость и его помазание. Я даже об этом не мог думать. Это было так неожиданно для меня. Я оказался в этой ситуации. И когда данный человек уже умер, я не знал уже, что я должен сделать. Я вспомнил, что Иисус всех снял из комнаты, потому что они плакали, там мешали его. И он начал, я действовал через Святого Духа, это Дух, он сам проводит это все. И я всех снял и начал провозглашать жизнь, не исцеление, потому что эта женщина была мертвая уже. Я начал говорить жизнь во имя Иисуса Христа. И через пару минут она вернулась. Она вернулась, и потом врачи... В общем, я приеду, покажу, когда ты приедешь, я познакомлю. И знаешь, самое чудо это что? Не то, что она из мертвых воскресла, что она моя теща. Это самое большое чудо, что зять для тещи молится, понимаешь?
Да, но ты как сказал, просто «Веркац еритасар», она встала или что ты сказал, как из Библии?
Я сказал, Иисусианов кянкем хрчаком. Иисус Քրիստոսյանով կյանք եմ խոսում քո մեջ։ Ու մեր խոսքերը մենք պետք է հասկանանք, որ ուժ ունեն, հասկանում ես, զորություն կա։ Մենք Աստծո կերպարանքով ենք ստեղծված իր նմանությամբ։ Ու մենք պետք է նույնը անենք, ինչ որ Քրիստոսն է արել։ Նույնը։ Ինքը ասեց, ես գնում եմ, դուք ավելին կանեք, որտեղ ես գնում եմ իմ հոր մոտ։ Այն հոգին, որ իմ վրա է, գտա ձեր վրա։ Այն հոգին, որ ինձ մեռելներից հարություն տվեց, նույն հոգով դուք լցված կլինեք։ Ու հիմա այդ հոգին է, որ մեզ ողորմած բացահայտեց Հիսուսի զորությունն ու էությունը ու մեզ փրկեց, հասկանում ես, ու մենք այդ հոգով ենք շարժվում, Քրիստոսի հոգով։
А твое служение, оно как бы чисто вот служение, или у тебя есть служение плюс еще какая-то отрасль, которой ты заведуешь в Ереване, в Армении?
В Армении, сейчас я, честно говоря, в Армении вот уже первый год, что мы здесь, я пока вот ориентировочно смотрю, как и что. У нас двери открыты с государственными там аппаратами. Потом приедешь, я тебе расскажу. Здесь Бог хочет другого типа служения. Не так, как в Голландии. В Голландии было, я вот из улиц этих брал наркоманов, бездомных наркоманов. И они сейчас, ты увидишь их, они такие ребята классные. Они просто через чудо, божественное чудо и любовь наша, они исцелились. Кстати, недавно поговорил, один из них хочет приезжать в Армению, говорит, эту любовь, божественную любовь, что я от армян получил, я хочу сейчас обратно в Армению распространять это все. Голландец. Ты приедешь, я познакомлюсь с тобой, мы поговорим, дорогой. По поводу бизнеса, здесь нужно заниматься бизнес as mission. Знаешь, бизнес как миссия должно быть. Мы не должны просто донации сделать деньги, а мы должны иметь менталитет царственный в бизнесе, понимаешь? Когда у тебя будет бизнес, тут сотрудники, они увидят, как ты с ними работаешь, и ты обучишь их, познакомишь их с value and the principles of the kingdom of God.
Ну, а скажи, брат, а эти люди местные готовы к такому подходу? Или они скажут, что...
Смотри, ты бери пример Иисуса Христа. Когда Он приехал в землю, в мир наш, у Него было очень сильное и четкое видение. Он хотел, как говорят, избавить мир, спасти мир. Да? Но он как работал? Он начал работать с 12 человек, с 12 учениками, понимаешь? Он начал строить отношения с 12 людьми. Ты не сможешь сразу с сотнями, времени не хватает. И как апостол Паулус Тимофею говорит в 2 Timotheus chapter 2 verse 2, he says, I give you the truths so that you will forward it by the truthful people. So, что ты должен найти, все, что я тебе передаю, ты в свою очередь должен, как network marketing сейчас они используют, понимаешь? Это network marketing было в Библии. Распространение христианства, это было network marketing. И вот этим образом я сейчас работаю. Я вот смотрю, кто будет, кого Бог приведет на мою дорогу, чтобы я служил для них. Понимаешь? И строить отношения. И вот Хайд, я знаю, он очень правильный человек в этом вопросе. Ты не просто так, что мы познакомились. Приезжай, мы будем строить отношения. И то помазание, то сила, то знание, мудрость. И самое главное, откровение, которое Бог дал, мы будем действовать вместе. Потому что без откровения ты можешь годами учить Библию, годами учить других, но если не будет живое откровение, не будет действовать. Поэтому Иисус спросил Петру: Петр, а кто я для тебя? Помнишь?
3 раза спросил.
Да. 3 раза он сказал, ты меня любишь? Он говорит, да. Но где он сказал, ты на самом деле являешься
Сыном Божьим? Да.
Он сказал, Петр, это не человек тебя открыл, это мой Отец тебя открыл, кто я. И на тебя ты сейчас являешься Петром, да? Симон стал Петром. Камень, не просто камень, но скалой. И на этой скале, то есть на этой откровении, послушай, на этом откровении построю я церковь, построю мое царство. И вот нам нужно получить откровение, кто Иисус Христос. Не здесь откровение, а вот тут, в сердце наше. И тогда будет двигаться сверхъестественная сила Святого Духа. И Он избрал тебя, брат. Он подготовил. До сих пор у тебя было очень сильное библейское учение. Но я знаю, что next level это будет сильное помазание Святого Духа. Ты будешь двигаться сверхъестественным. Без этого невозможно. Supernatural.
Lifestyle. But 100%. And he said, upon this rock we shall build our church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. But let me ask you this: in Yerevan, on the streets of Yerevan, it's just a question because I haven't been in Armenia since 1986, long time ago, and I heard that this kind of open evangelizing openly on the streets is frowned upon by the Armenian Apostolic Church. Is that true or not true?
No, they
don't like it. They don't like it. Is that true?
They don't like it, but when you say you are from Armenian Orthodox Church, they are amazed and they say, wow, great, go forward. Because every church needs evangelization.
Sure.
When they understand that you are not bringing a new kind of religion or something like that.
Like Mormon, as long as you're not a Mormon, you're good.
Yeah, you know, but I bring people to Armenian Apostolic Church. So I'm not stealing the souls. Yesterday I talked with a grandpa on street. He gave his heart to Jesus Christ. He was touched by the Holy Spirit. So I encourage people to go to the church, but to understand what is the church, not the building, but who is Christ? Who are we in Him? So there is a lot to do, and don't worry. I have here also good friends, also movements in several directions. Hi, John. We have enough time because people are waiting for us. Yeah. So
Yes, if you.
Потом мы вместе давай поговорим, да, брат?
Хорошо.
Было очень приятно, Самвелджан. Майк отправить мои данные тебе, WhatsApp отправишь, пожалуйста, будем на связи, пока ты приедешь, будем на связи, и как приедешь, позвоним и встретим тебя в аэропорту.
Хорошо. И как идея, мысль для названия, если ты еще не выбрал название, Agape Ministries. You mentioned Agape, the divine love.
Agape?
Agape Ministries.
Yeah, Agape, это любовь, да, это любовь.
Это высшая любовь, самая высшая любовь.
So, just as an idea, did you pick a name or not yet? No name for your nonprofit.
We will discuss about that.
Okay.
Thank you for your suggestion.
You bet. Brother Hike, do you have to go?
Yes, brother Sam, one more brother, Christian historian, he came. I want to show him, we have a huge library here, 22 sources.
Yeah.
When you come.
you have enough to study, my friends.
I tell you, watch out. This guy is on fire. This guy is on God's fire. He's the holy messenger of God. So this guy is...
We all together, because without the recipient, the signals cannot work. So I am so on fire because you receive it.
Oh, 100%. There's got to be in the group somebody who's on fire like you, somebody who's maybe less on fire doing some other things in part of the team, and then somebody else who's doing something else. Like, have you, just quickly, Brother Jacob, you've talked to Brother Mitch, Brother Petros, right?
Oh, no,
not yet. I'm going to talk to him.
Okay, that's very interesting. I would like to know your opinion.
I have seen some videos, so I will give my feedback, my friends. Yeah.
Because Brother Petros has a very interesting view of the Armenian Orthodox Church. He thinks this is the way, and everything else is not good.
So we will speak. We will talk with. Only Jesus is the way, not the church.
Right.
Okay.
But he said in his way, so it would be interesting to know your opinion.
I am glad. I appreciate that he has such a valuation for our church. So we will talk to
Okay.
how things. Don't worry.
Well, there's no worry with you, man. You're on fire. You're surrounded by angels of God.
Okay, my friend Samueljan, Asvat Ortikes, Ahmedjan.
Okay, God bless you too. All right.
Okay, see you
guys.
Okay.
We will talk again maybe on, if you're okay with Vartan, on weekend. Sure. Would you have time?
Sure, I think so. Yeah, I think we could. Or maybe on Monday when you talk to him, you said Monday or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Samueljan, spasem ko patashan ko contacting. Copy mesh kline.
Okay. All right. See you guys.
All right.
Godspeed. Take care.